mo ń bọ̀ wọ́n sá mo fẹ́ sáré pín ètò. Oh, ẹ kálẹ́ grandma. Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mì. Grandma Ella Eniola. Mo ń bọ̀ wá o. Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ sà.
Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ ìyá wa Rísí Aṣèrò. Ẹ káàbọ̀ mà. A máa kí yín dáadáa. Bàbá ẹgbẹ́, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ ṣíwájú wa nínú àdúrà sà. Wọ́n ń kí yín o ká tó ìyá grandma Ella ń kí yín sà.
Mọ́mí ẹ ṣé o, mo dúpẹ́. Ẹ káàbọ̀.
Bàbá ẹgbẹ́, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ ṣíwájú wa nínú àdúrà sà.
Bàbá wa ní orúkọ Jésù. Alágbára mọ́jọ́lọ tó pọ̀ ní agbára.
Kábíyèsí.
Ọlọ́run òdodo, Ọlọ́run òtítọ́, Olúwa Ọlọ́run ìmọ́lẹ̀. Àjúbà rẹ̀ àfi ìbà fún ọ, àwárí fún ọ, àgbé ọ̀gá, àṣẹ ọlọ́ba, Ọlọ́run gba ọpẹ́ wa.
Àmín.
Àdáṣe fún ọmọ, ìbà kì í fún ọmọ ènìyàn. Àjúbà rẹ̀ náà, alágbára mọ́jọ́lọ má jẹ́ kó hún wa.
Àmín.
A máa tẹ̀síwájú, Ọlọ́run má bá wa lọ.
Àmín.
Síwájú àkókẹ́yìn wa.
Àmín.
Pé kí ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ kó gba àkóso ohun gbogbo, Ọlọ́run wa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àmín.
Tó pé fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti máa dúpẹ́ ṣá.
Àmín.
Aláwa yín ọ̀.
Àmín.
Gbogbo ọkàn tó darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, àwọn tó mọ̀ wò lọ́jọ́ iwájú, Ọlọ́run bójú wa kò ṣe wa lápapọ̀.
Àmín.
Ìfẹ́ inú wa ní rere, pàtàkì lọ fún àwọn èèyàn ní gbogbo àgbálá ayé, lójú ẹ̀mí wa, lójú ayé wa, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ.
Àmín.
Ní forúkọ ẹ̀ lókè ọ̀run.
Hallelujah.
Jésù la gbàdúrà.
Àmín. Àmín ní orúkọ Jésù. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni bàbá ẹgbẹ́. Dr. Moses Abiodun Ojo, mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ yín. Mo ń bọ̀ wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ yín ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kí àwọn aráalé, a kíwa pé ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Ẹ kálẹ́ bí ojú ọjọ́ bá ṣe rí ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín, a fi kí yín. Ẹ káàbọ̀ ní ẹ̀ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò yín, ètò wa ti alẹ́ ìní. Orúkọ tèmi kò yí padà. Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Yorùbá Talk Show. Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Yorùbá Talk Show ní orí YouTube. Ẹ ṣé, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá Afẹ́nifẹ́re orí ìkànnì wa. Ẹ ní dánìkan ṣe ilé ayé yín o, àjíǹde ara máa jẹ́ yín. Ẹ ṣé gan ni, ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Èní ni ọjọ́ ajé, ajé àfilé ẹ̀yin àti èmi ṣe ibùgbé. Ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Àdúpẹ́. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kí yín bí n ṣe rí orúkọ ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi níbí grandma àkọ́bí wa ní orí ìkànnì wa níbí grandma wa Fúnmilọ́lá Bello 572 ẹ bá wa kí ọmọ wa Ella Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ọmọ ológo.
We love you.
ọmọ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà. Akí ìyàwó Arísí Aṣírò àǹtí mi
ẹ káàbọ̀.
àjíǹde ara máa jẹ yín o, ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹni dánìkan ṣe ilé ayé yín, àdúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ok, orúkọ àwọn tí mo rí nìyẹn. Akí bàbá wa ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà kò fowó rọ láàrin ọlá dádì ibikíbi tẹ́ bá wà bí tí yín bá ń já orí ìkànnì yín la ti ń kí yín, àjíǹde ara máa jẹ yín, àdúpẹ́. Akí Dr. Lábánjí Ìjìnlẹ̀ Ọpọlọ ẹni jábọ̀. Ẹ ṣé, mo wá máa lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ kálẹ́ dádì, mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ sọ.
Ẹ ṣeun ẹ jíjẹ o, ẹ kú àpọ́nlé.
Ẹ ṣeun gidi gan ni. Àṣẹ, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun tẹ́ ò fìgbà kan fi wá sílẹ̀, bàbá ẹgbẹ́ mo sọ fún yín, àdìjọ máa dé gbàjọ ni láṣẹ Elédùmarè.
Láṣẹ Ọlọ́run di dandan.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mí nǹkan.
Nípa ni gbogbo wa wà.
Àdúrà bọ́ iṣẹ́ ń gbúrò boyfriend mi àti gbogbo lẹ́sà.
Àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sà. Mo ń lọ káàkiri ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò, mo rí fọ́nrán kan, mo rí picture kan tí ó dà pé jáde ní weekend ẹ̀yin àti mọ́mí wa, mo ní ẹ̀yin méjèèjì.
Ọmọ ìkan náà mothers wa ní church, ìkan náà church member wa.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Wọ́n fi ọmọ fọkọ ní Maryland. We were in Maryland over this weekend.
Wow.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ kan ó yẹ ọmọ náà kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa ṣoríire.
Àmín.
Ìdùnnú tó mórí àwọn òbí wú náà lélẹ́yìn. Ọlọ́run tó wá bá wa ṣe, ọmọ yẹn tó wá fẹ́ Nàìjíríà náà ló fẹ́. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká sọnù.
Àmín.
Gbogbo tó lè máa fún wa lágbára Ọlọ́run á mú orí délé.
Àmín.
Akẹ́rù délé.
Àmín.
Àmọ́ ọ̀sìn ní jìyàn. Gbogbo tó ń wò wá lágbára, mo gbà ládùúrà fún gbogbo wa. Àwọn tó ń fẹ́ ká sọnù sẹ́yìn odi, ìmọ̀tú ìmọ̀jọ ni, ìmọ̀ ẹni ni wọn ò ní dọjọ́ alẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àwọn ọmọ orí délé lágbára Elédùmarè. Tọmọ Elédùmarè làwọn ọmọ orí délé. Àwọn ọ̀sìn ní sọnù, wọn ò ní ṣìyàn níbikíbi. Mo fi tó àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ tọrọ fáwọn tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè á jẹ́ kán rìn síbi dáradára.
Àṣẹ o.
Àwọn èèyàn bíi tiwa láti inú ìran wa wá, láti orílẹ̀-èdè àwa èèyàn dúdú lọ́nà Elédùmarè ó sì yàn fáwọn ọmọ wa. Tá bá ń sọ ká máa yàn, ọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn rọ̀ ló kókó lé ìtàn àkọ́kọ́. Èmi gbà ládùúrà pé káwọn ọmọ mi fẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n fẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè ní kóòtù òjìrí.
Àtẹ̀mí
tó dẹ̀ yàn fún wọn. Àdúrà tí mo gbà yẹn kó ń dẹ̀ jẹ́ ká mórí délé. Ìlú yẹn ó tòrò lágbára Ọlọ́run. Tó bá yá, àwọn èèyàn máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ láti gba passport orílẹ̀-èdè yẹn ni. So we can go back, not only for that country alone, but for the entire African continent. It's time the Lord will yield to our supplications.
Mo ń bọ̀ wá, ìyá wa Ọmọlára Ògúndáre, akọ̀wé wa lórí ìkànnì, ẹ káàbọ̀ yá wa. Wọ́n kí yín, ẹ ní láti rí fọ́nrán yẹn, àwòrán ìyá bàbá ẹgbẹ́ àwọn dàbí sweet 16 ni. Mo like picture yẹn, mo like ẹ̀yin méje, mo like àkílódé, tẹ bá lọ wo comment mi níbẹ̀, mo kó yín jẹ bàjẹ́. Tẹ bá mi kí mọ́mì dáadáa, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà. tó ẹ̀yin náà àṣerú ẹ̀ fọmọ, gbogbo wa àwa náà àṣerú ẹ̀ fọmọ. Inú mi dùn ibi tá a fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí, torí pé gbogbo àdúrà mi ti máa ń gbà ní ọ̀dọ̀ Elédùmarè ni pé kí Ọlọ́run kó yàn fún àwọn ọmọ wa. Àwọn ọmọ wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ gẹ́lẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lèmi náà ṣe. Ọlọ́run kò sí nǹkan tó máa ń jẹ́ kí ayọ̀ èèyàn kún jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, kò sí. Ẹ̀yin náà dẹ̀ ṣerú ẹ̀ láṣẹ Elédùmarè tó yẹ pé ó máa ṣojú ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa báyìí lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣé nǹkan ni. Àṣẹ. Ìyá wa Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣùgbòyè, mọ́mì, ẹ ṣeun gan ni, ẹ káàbọ̀. Ẹ bá wa kí dádì Babátúndé Olúwatósìn àti ìyàwó wa, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, àdúpẹ́. A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Afẹ́nifẹ́re wa tí ẹ wà ní abẹ́ ètò, tẹ́kì, comment. Bàbá wa Ṣọlá tí ibikíbi tẹ́ bá wà, ní àṣẹ Elédùmarè ọba, ààbò Ọlọ́run dájú lórí yín o. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. A kí bàbá Ìyálájé, ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. So a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò. À ń dúró de bàbá ẹgbẹ́.
Ẹ má bínú. Ó dà pé mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n pa AC yẹn ni, so ó lọ sáré tún padà ni.
Ó wà òkè sá. Ṣe rí nǹkan tí a fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí, ọjọ́ kan bóyá a máa dídì ṣe ètò lórí láti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa kìnìyàn sá, torí pé mi ò mọ̀ pé irú nǹkan ibi tẹ́ lọ nìyẹn, mi ò ti pé mo kàn rí picture yẹn, mo kàn ní wàá, torí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe jèjì ṣe ẹ̀yin àti mọ́mí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lógun, mo ṣe ló wá get attention mi tí mo ṣe ní wàá. So a ní láti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ó wà interesting gan ni sá. Torí àwọn ẹ̀là, àwọn tó tún bọ̀, torí iṣẹ́ mọ̀ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ wa sọnù, àwọn ọmọ wo dẹ̀ ní sọnù láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Ẹ ṣeun sá.
Bàbá Ebenezer Obey kọrin, ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbéyàwó láyé, ó ní ọba Olúwa ló fi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àṣẹ. Ṣẹ́rí, when you look at what happened and you look at the events, ṣẹ́rí, à ń bímọ láyé, à ń tọ́ àwọn ọmọ láti primary, à ń ṣe tọmọ fi ń dàgbà, tọmọ fi ń jáde, tó ń kó lábẹ́ òbí, tó ti pé àwọn náà ń pàdé ọ̀rẹ́ tọ́lọ́run rẹ̀ á jẹ́ kọ́kàn dédé lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. Pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ lákàn dédé akàn lọ bàùn, tàbí kọ́kàn gbóyún lọ, tàbí kọ́kàn lọ gbéyàwó téèyàn ní mọ́ tọ̀tẹ̀ níbẹ̀rẹ̀ bí. Kọ́kọ́ mọ́ yẹn padà tán mọ́ra wọn, wọ́n dànà. Please, wọ́n ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kó rí. Ẹ sì mọ̀ pé ìrìn àjò yẹn yóò rí bó ṣe fẹ́ kó rí ni.
Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Ká máa jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa mọ iyì tó ń bẹ. Torí kì í ṣe ẹ̀yẹ nìkan fáwọn tó ń ṣègbéyàwó, ìwúrí ni fún òbí tọ́lọ́run jẹ́ kó ṣe àṣeyẹ tó ṣe àṣeyege. Tàbá wò títí kí nìkan táwọn ọmọ wa fẹ́ fún wa, bí kò ṣe pé iyì tán fún àwọn òbí yẹn ní weekend yìí is priceless.
Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè.
Gbogbo aládùúrà gbogbo àwọn ọmọ oníṣìírí wọn.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Ọlọ́run ó ṣe rere.
Àṣẹ.
Lọ́jọ́ ẹ̀yẹ wọn ẹnikẹ́ni ò sì nígbà ṣe wá ṣe.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Nígbà sì nílò lágbára Ọlọ́run ó fi fún wa ní àníkútó àti àníṣẹ́kù.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Ṣé ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú.
Àṣẹ. Ẹ ṣeun gan bàbá wa. Àkọlé orí ètò tí a lè ní ó pín sí abala méjì. Ó ṣeé ṣe kó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ torí ẹ mọ̀ pé bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ni wọ́n wà. Àwọn náà máa sọ̀rọ̀ ta lè ní, so mi ò mọ ibi tí ẹ ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ bàbá wa, ibo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, màá fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti torí ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun ni mí, Ọ̀ṣun state ní ọmọ Ìgbàjọ, ìlú Ìgbàjọ mo ti wá, ìlú bàbá mi ni. Ọ̀ṣun sì ni ìpínlẹ̀ tí ìlú tèmi wà nínú ẹ̀. Wọ́n dìbò ní eléyìí tó kọjá yìí ní weekend yìí náà ni, níjẹta. So many things ló dẹ̀ ti ń trend lórí social media. Mi kò máa fẹ́ má ṣàlàyé sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́bẹ̀. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún oore ọ̀fẹ́ yìí. Elédùmarè kó gbọ́ ọpẹ́ mi. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa bá a pín dáadáa torí mo fẹ́ kó dé gbogbo àwọn ọkọ̀rọ̀ bí tó yẹ kó dé. Mo fẹ́ kó kan àwọn èèyàn tó yẹ kó kàn. Òótọ́ kò ní àṣàwí káàkiri, kò ní di pé ọ̀pá pọ̀lọpọ̀lọ péjọ. Tá bá sọ abẹ̀bẹ̀ sókè ní bàbá àwọn bàbá níbi pẹlẹbẹ ní máa fi lélẹ̀. Dúdú ò sì jọ funfun. Ṣẹ̀gẹ́ẹ̀tì. So tá bá ti lè bá ọ sọ tọ̀rọ̀ kò dára. Àwọn òótọ́ kan ni mo fẹ́ mú jáde nínú election tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ọ̀ṣun state yìí. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà pé èmi ò fara mọ́ elections, mi ò fara mọ́ democracy mọ́. Anything democracy, I'm against, completely against in Africa. I support it in the Western world, ní orílẹ̀-èdè ibi tán ti gbé wá fúnra wọn sọ̀n. Ṣùgbọ́n fún àwọn èèyàn dúdú lákòókò yìí, èmi ò support democracy torí a ti rí ọjọ́ ti ta sí níjọ́ táwa náà ti dé lu tá ti jẹ́ èèyàn, tá ti mọ̀ pé ọmọ èèyàn ni wá tá ń gbélé ayé. Àti abá democracy ńlẹ̀ ni a rí nǹkan tó ṣe, a rí ọṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà. Why should we continue to? And the greatest definition of stupid or foolish, when you continue to do the same thing, and expecting a different outcome. You're applying the same technique to the same situation and expecting different outcomes. It's never going to happen. That's foolish. That's stupidity. So across the entire continent of Africa, by democracy, we had a system of government that worked for us before the Europeans came and invaded Africa. And before the scramble for Africa, before they partitioned and divided Africa into segments like they had it now, there was a proper system by which African people governed themselves. As a matter of fact, the Europeans came and met civilization in Africa, and Africa taught the world civilization. That's the truth. So they should not now come and they shouldn't be the ones to tell us that we should apply democracy. Lẹ́ni mo rí lẹ́nìkan kan lórí ní also sorry social media níbi kan pé European Union is talking about Burkina Faso and human, in violation of human rights and stuff, all of those nonsense. And kan sọ pé let us continue to pray for Burkina Faso. This is the mindset they have given us in Africa. We should continue to pray that the European Union should not come and attack Ibrahim Traore. Are we serious right now? I don't think we should pray. You stupid. He gave you sense, he gave you the ability to reason, and he has given you the knowledge you should be able to think right and act accordingly. African youth should not pray to know God about European Union coming after Ibrahim Traore. If any of these European people, any of this Western world should come after any leader in Africa, Africans should make a resolution to attack them back, because they do not understand the language of peace. The only language the Western world understands is violence. If I'm lying, look at Iran. If you look at Iran happens not to be Venezuela. Look at Venezuela. They didn't fight back. You see what happened? You see what they took their leader and put that country into shambles. But look at Iran. They went after Iran. Iran is fighting back, and Iran is mandating them to actually accept their memorandum of understanding. Everybody understand what's going on now in Iran, because they met violence. They came with violence. They confronted with violence. So enough is enough. Where the Western world or this European imperialists will be detecting for Africa and telling Africa what is right and what is not. We taught them civilization, and then let Africans develop their own ways. Let us have our own experiences. Let us get out of it by ourselves. We do not want any foreign intervention in Africa. All they have done is to come and steal, to kill, and destroy us. So I'm talking to the African youths. You don't need to pray to know God. You need to stand strong and confront these evildoers, this imperial evil. And if you stand up tall and they know you're going to fight, they will run away. The entire world, you have the greatest population of youths, which means that Africa is the future of the world. So it's not now that Africans should be saying, let us pray that the European Union shouldn't come after Ibrahim Traore. If they should come after every African president, Africa should attack all of their leaders anywhere they can attack them. If they know that this is going to happen, if you don't believe me, see what happened when the United States president visited Turkey recently.
Yeah.
Because they are afraid Iran was going to attack him, just like he killed their leader. You see how they smuggled him out of Turkey. They will not try it again. Go and put it down. No country in the West will try again to kill any leader in Iran. So if Africa continues to be timid and you continue to walk away and you continue to call on a God you don't even know to come and save you, when you can use your own strength, your own knowledge and abilities to defend yourself, we are in the wrong place. So when you now look at the election, Osun, let me go back now because I'm getting carried away with with that stuff. Let me come back home because I'm about only me almost Osun State in me election to koja. Emi o support election kan tele. I'm not for democracy at all anymore. We want autocratic leaders. Like we want, military leaders, not just leaders any kind of way. Leaders that have military trainings. Because the world we're facing is a violent world. And they rely solely on their military might to control the rest of the world. They rely solely also on their financial might, the dependence on their finances, on their currency, to control the rest of the world. So we need strong, knowledgeable, young Africans to be the heads of affairs of every African nation. That's what we need, not through democracy. Because you try to do democracy, they will be manipulating one after the other. They'll be pitching one person against the other. They will encourage corruption and destroy us from there. We don't need democracy. It is the instrument of the West to continue to keep us in check. We need a military takeover, a radical change of governments all across Africa that will be truthful to the people and serving only Africans, the interest of all Africans. That's what we need. But that being said, let us look at the elections and what happened in Osun. Koto di pé election yìí máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Mo ti ráwọn tó text mi tán kọ oríṣiríṣi pé ṣé mi rí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́sùn ṣé mo rí báwọn yẹn ṣe ń para wọn. A ti sọ lórí ìkànnì pé káwọn yẹn jọ́ṣọ́ àwọn èèyàn pé ẹ má jẹ́ wọn pa ẹ má jẹ́ kẹ ẹ má mọ̀ lọ síbi tí wọ́n ti mọ̀ pa ni because àwọn eléyìí they only after themselves o. Tàbá sì parọ́ gbogbo wa la rí fọ́nrán lórí social media táwọn APC ń pín owó fáwọn èèyàn. Ẹ rí bá ṣe gbé bọ́ndù sílẹ̀ lójú mi ìmọ̀ bóyá yàrá jẹ́ àwọn clips kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ń ṣe òbí lọ́tí fáwọn èèyàn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Ibo làwọn owó yẹn wà látijọ́ ẹ̀. Owó tó ń pín yẹn àwọn owó ló ní.
Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ kí n play ẹni sàbẹ̀?
Ẹ mọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká play kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bóyá.
Okay sir. Wọ́n kàn máa gbọ́ ohùn. So.
Tá a bá tilẹ̀ show picture wọn ẹ má wọrí.
APC governorship candidate in Osun State. Na him wife with this. Na the man.
Yeah. I play.
Okay sir.
If they say money wey be say this woman load for ground wey be say they use to do campaign. See the way they give them bunch of 500 naira just to vote for your husband wey be say they contest for governorship. Now EFCC man no go see this one now. Go question am. Now but to freeze Osun State account. APC and EFCC people know wetin they do for Osun State. Take a look at this video.
Okay. What is that, sir?
Ẹ ṣé Yàlájé. Mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tó ń wò wá lórí fọ́nrán yìí àtàwọn tó ń bá wa pín ẹni tó máa gbọ́ wa gbogbo ilẹ̀ ti rí nǹkan tá a dọ́gbọ́n play yẹn. Mo rò pé nítorí copyright ni Yàlájé ò ṣe lè show ẹ̀ lórí ìkànnì táwa yìí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
But gbogbo wa la rí bá ṣe kó bọ́ndù owó sílẹ̀. Aṣàlàyé ń bì lórí ìkànnì rí. Àwọn olóṣèlú yìí wọ́n ń wáṣẹ́ ni. Wọ́n wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn tí yóò fún wọn ṣẹ́. Wọ́n á gbó wá fún wọn rìbá pé ẹ gbà. Mo fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ fún yín ni. This is the reverse kind of sense, that this is. I'm trying to make it so that our people can understand clearly what happened and what continues to happen in Nigeria and across Africa, where the employee or the candidate, who is a candidate for a job, is bringing huge sum of money to the employer and saying, please take this money and hire me to come and work for you. And then you will be paying me my salary. Is that reasonable? And then after they hire them, they take all the money that àwọn tó ní pension wọn ní san pension, àwọn tó yẹ kán gba gratuity wọn ní gba gratuity, àwọn oníṣiṣẹ́ oṣù wọn ní rówó oṣù gbà, àwọn iléèwé wọn ní ilé ẹ understand ojú ọ̀nà wọn ní ṣe títì ọ̀nà gbòdò yìí náà ní tán omi ẹ understand no hospital no nothing ẹ wà máa kú bí ẹyẹ bí àfòpiná ní clinics káàkiri. Who is to blame because of this type of corruption that's happening? Now, it so happened pé wọ́n show ti Adeleke náà tó náà pín ráìsì tá fi fọ́tò ẹ̀ sí ara ráìsì. Ṣé ẹ get? Adeleke náà mo rí fọ́nrán kan bí tó ti show pé ó ń pín ráìsì pé wọ́n pín ráìsì tí fọ́tò rẹ̀ wà lára ráìsì fáwọn èèyàn. But APC candidate lẹ́yìn mi gbọ́ démi rí tá kó bọ́ndù owó tíyàwó rẹ̀ kó bọ́ndù owó. Mo ti sọ lórí bíi náà wẹ́ẹ́ ìyàwó Tinubu nígbà tó ní káwọn ọmọ wa kan lọ́mọ dín àkàrà àwọn ìyá wa kan lọ́mọ dín àkàrà káwọn graduate wa kan lọ́mọ dín àkàrà lójú títì. Mo ní kò sọ pé tó owó ti máa jáde o tó wá ń sọ pé òun ti gbé 100 billion kan fún àwọn kan òun gbé kíní kan million kan sáwọn kan fáwọn kan. Wọ́n á béèrè lọ́wọ́ wá ń bì pé sáwọn èèyàn béèrè pé ibo ló ti lówó tó lóun gbé fáwọn èèyàn. Àbí nígbà tí Nàìjíríà ń dìbò fọ́kọ ẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n dìbò fún ni? How does she get her hands into the treasury of Nigeria? And only recently, as of last week, mo rí fọ́nrán kan tí màá kan sọ pé ó ní Tinubu for 3 years, going to 3 years now, has never run a budget. You understand? He has refused to follow the budget of Nigeria, but then he continues to spend. Tinubu doesn't consult nobody, whatever, and he's taking loans on the backs of all Nigerians currently living, the youths currently living, and the children that are unborn that will come and pay. But it's not following the budget. Only this is the first time you have a government that is not following its own budget, that has no budget.
Yeah. Go on, baby, sir.
You understand? Now you see the first lady of Nigeria saying that I'll give baby millions, question, and people are not asking the questions. And the stupid reporters from CNN, from NTA, and Radio Lagos, all these major media outlets in Nigeria, they're not doing their job. They are thieves. They're not asking the right questions. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. But they don't ask the right question because they are what? They are corrupt. They've been corrupted. So their licenses should actually be questioned. Maybe they should withdraw their license from them because they're not doing the job. Because if a doctor gets a license, they'll swear oath. You understand? If you're media, a press, the press has a press code, right? Shouldn't that be like a code of conduct? Some level of code of ethics? They are not living by the ethics of that profession. Thank God for social media. The main media itself is all corrupted because that's why these politicians bought them all. They all buy them. And so they're working for their masters against all Nigerians. The same media, tell on no later say advert lori gbogbo àwọn ten wo CNN, ten wo BCOS, ten wo kinikan gbogbo nonsense yẹn. All of them are corrupt and working against you. They're feeding you what they want, what their leaders, their political leaders want to feed you. Because they are not asking the questions that should be asked. Otherwise, wọ́n á pe Tinubu pé níbo ni ìyàwó ẹ̀ ti rówó tó ń gbé fún tó lóun gbé fún káàkiri. So kò yà mí lẹ́nu bàtí APC candidate or governor of Osun State tíyàwó rẹ̀ tán show rẹ̀ níbi tó ti gbé bọ́ndù owó. Ẹ̀rí bá ṣe tó bọ́ndù owó yẹn sórí tébù. Owó tán fẹ́ fi tọrọ nìyẹn o. Èlò náà kó fáwọn ọmọ wọn tán lọ òkè òkun. Èlò náà kó fáwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn. Èlò náà kó fáwọn ẹbí wọn. Èlò náà kó fáwọn àlè wọn. Who owns those money? This is the money that belongs to the country. Being plundered the way they're plundering it. Àwọn afi gbogbo àwọn tó kù lẹ̀, gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n tèmi, gbogbo àwọn àbúrò mi, gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi, gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tèmi. Tá lẹ́yìn, tá lẹ́bi, tá ní inú ìjọba. Àwọn afi wá kalẹ̀ kí ká máa kú. Ẹ wá ní ká fojú rẹ̀ wò wọ́n. Àwọn kan wá dìde. Wọ́n ní pé ẹni tó bá ní ká má ṣe kejì. Ẹni tó bá ní ká má ṣe kẹta. Àwọn tó bá ní ká má ṣe ìjọba mọ́ láéláé. Àfi kí kíní kan ṣe gbogbo tẹ́pẹ́ wù kẹ́ tẹnu bàṣẹ. Ẹni tó bá dé irúgbà irú mọ̀ tọ̀. Òkú tá bá sọ mọ́ pẹ́ òun lọ pé ó dà padà fún yín. Ṣé mo bẹ́ẹ̀?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ sir.
Òkìtì ọgọ́rùn sì ní jìn kó mọ́ jìn lórí ara ẹ̀. Àríkì ṣẹ́gi tó bá ṣẹ́gi orí ara ẹ̀ ní ó ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ lọ kọrin kalẹ̀ o gbogbo èpè tán ṣẹ́yìn yóò jà bí tí ó jà sí ní kan dúró dé. Tó bá ṣe pé kí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa kan parẹ́ bá ṣe ń pa kí a máa jẹun dọ̀túnla mẹ́wàá ló wù yín òòṣà òkè ó dáa oògùn tẹ́ gbé dání ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tẹ́ gbé dání ẹni yóò dáa. Ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ ń bá oògùn sọ àbí ogun tẹ̀sí gbé lọ́wọ́ tó wẹ́ pé àṣẹ gidi ẹni ó ń láti létí ó mọ̀ jù bẹ́yìn kí n mọ̀ lọ yóò ṣe òkàṣà iṣẹ́. These people, they brought money. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ àìmọye ọmọ tó graduate tó ní skills lọ́wọ́ tó yẹ kán sponsor láti either into look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. Àwọn tó bá ní inventions, he said if you have any inventions, come, we'll set you up to develop. So they're building their own armor tanks now. They're building their munitions. They're building industries in Burkina Faso. This money is supposed to be meant for our children, our graduates, our to develop their skills and perfect it so that Nigeria does not remain a consuming nation. So we can be producing something. But instead, look at how the way they're spending it. At whose expense? At the expense of our lives. So I work at the last, but our young kusinu ya any. Àwọn APC ni o. Àwọn APC tí Bọ́lá Ahmed ní pé tó ní oògùn ẹ̀fọ́rí, ó ní party àwọn, ó ní oògùn ẹ̀fọ́rí ni. Oògùn ẹ̀fọ́rí. APC in Osun State. Doling out money. Look at it. Me, my millions don't pin join. 500 naira notes in stacks like this. You get brand new. Nigerians, if you have access and you have information to these things, please record and document all these crimes because these are crimes against the state of Osun, against the people of Osun State, against the well-being of all Nigerian youths, all Nigerian citizens, against workers that are not paid, against contracts that have not been executed. You know, contracts are going to dormant and are don't revisit almost every year without not doing nothing on it. These criminals must be brought to book at some point. Like by long, wọn ò ní kú. Lójú ayé wọn ní nǹkan ó yí padà. And then they will have to account for all these crimes. Gbogbo àwọn bank managers ń gbóhùn jáde. If you have the record, please continue to keep it. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń tẹ owó tán ní ká máa tẹ owó ní Central Bank in Nigeria tán ní pé go ahead and Nigerians should be keeping these records. The youths will be keeping these records with their face and their names. Because there will be a time there will be reckoning. Ojú ọ̀rọ̀ dẹ̀ rí nísìnyí. Èmi mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yìn ọ̀rọ̀ máa tó padà dé. So don't let them go away. When you see them like that, record it and keep it. If you cannot archive it, please send it around because then archive one. I keep them. And keep the record. I make sure I keep it in 3 different sets of different devices. So think about virus, you understand? It's going to come to a point where I will be able to get. I certainly money will record me law. It's just a matter of click before you share the information. All these things they're doing, these are criminal behaviors of these presumed leaders against not just the state but the entire citizens. These are crimes. Àmọ́ tí mo ṣe fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lọ sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn pàtó ó ní pé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ló lè ṣòṣèlú ṣe get.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Ọ̀ṣẹ́ rí tí èèyàn bá ti rìn dé àwọn ibì kan nílé ayé yìí èèyàn máa ń ṣọ́ra fáwọn kankan tí èèyàn ń sọ àgàgà tí èèyàn bá tẹ̀ ti fi ẹnu yaran sọ́bẹ̀ tó pọ̀. Eléyìí ó mú mi lọ sọ́dọ̀ Chief Sunday Igboho. Chief Sunday Igboho ó lágbára o. Ìgẹ́dà sí bí. Somebody like me, honestly, I'm greatly disappointed. And I'll say the reasons why. Greatly disappointed in how low he has come. To the point where, Biodun, kí ló sún mi dé Yorùbá Nation gan in the first instance. kí ló dé mi gan tí ẹ̀gán ṣe gbàyàn kí ló dé reason tí mo ṣe break rule tèmi gan fún ara mi mo sọ fún yín pé mi ò ń bá àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń lu ìgan náà lọ tí mi ò lọ́rẹ̀ you understand why did I even break my own personal rule? Because of Sunday Igboho I went into Yoruba Nation believing that this is the way. But money oko Yoruba Nation, I was one of those that said yes. Money because wọ́n parọ́ tán. Ṣé pé Dọ̀tun la mẹ́wàá mo sọ nǹkan bí pé kò sí Yorùbá world media kankan, kò sí media kankan tó máa gbé bàbá Akíntóyè jáde bá béèrè àwọn question tó yẹ kan béèrè lọ́wọ́. Láìláì bàbá yẹn kan náà lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Anyways. Lórí àwọn facts because he is not able to deny the critical facts. The facts that are out here. Thank God to this media. Thank God to Yalaje Yoruba World, the global talk show. A lot of the world media now, you see, they're not able to talk about Yoruba Nation. None of them. Rightly, because he has the choice to make anyways, and because he's been disappointed. But it does not mean that they should not be able to still find out some facts, especially from Baba Akitoye. Like how far? What happened? Where are we headed to? Nobody said those. Now, tí gbogbo yín bá lọ wo gbogbo fọ́nrán gbogbo tó lè ti sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà Yorùbá Nation, ẹ lọ wo gbogbo ẹ̀ tán, all the way to when he left. When he left, I was very happy because èmi ti kúrò mẹ́ before kó tó pé nǹkan tẹ lọ. You understand most of it? But it's one thing to accept, you know, make your gains out of whatever and then leave it alone. It's another story when you're going against the same things that you spoke about on the rally grounds. Àwọn èèyàn wọ́n lè máa pàkíyèsí máa pé èmi á pàkíyèsí yín sí àwọn nǹkan kan. Yoruba Nation no going back. Yes, he went back, rightly so, because the leadership was deceptive, and Yoruba Nation was actually being used, and they will not even tell us. Ṣé pé Dr. Mẹ́wàá kò tí sẹ́ni tó ti dáhùn question tí mo béèrè pé ta ni ẹni tó gbowó pé Tinubu sponsor Sowore. Sowore said Yoruba Nation was being sponsored. That Sunday Igboho rally also only was being sponsored by Tinubu. Dr. Mẹ́wàá látọ̀dọ̀ Baba Akitoye lọ sáwọn tó wà ní Europe. Nobody has been able to say, nobody answered that question. At a point, I had to Sowore sọ pé when Sowore talks, only you can rule out kí ni nǹkan tó language tó ló ń jọ yẹn pé nǹkan tó ń bá sọ òun mọ̀ pé there are facts to it, and you can sue me only, and you can sue me if I say something that is wrong. I understand. What he was saying, and he has all the evidence to back it up, but nobody ever came to dispute it. So we knew Yoruba Nation was sponsored by Tinubu himself, this same Tinubu in government. Mo á béèrè nígbà yẹn mo ní ṣé wọ́n jẹ́ kó lóye mọ̀ sí àbí àwọn tó gbowó yẹn ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ pé wọ́n gbowó ẹ̀mí àdògán àti ẹ̀mí olóyè náà ni tó bá yẹ pé Buhari succeed láti pàǹgbà yẹn ṣé understand pé mo ń sọ mo tún sọ gbogbo ayé gbogbo àìsàn fún ìparọ́ pé àwọn tí Tinubu rán tó sponsor gbà yẹn now Tinubu and Buhari wanted to kill Sunday láti neutralize Bola Ahmed Tinubu because they didn't want him to be candidate for presidency. You understand?
That's
what I said. So if Tinubu was sponsoring that means they put Sunday Igboho in jeopardy, his life in jeopardy. But in the process, Adogaku, Afaku, and a lot of people went to jail for a long time. The same group to sponsor. We were fighting for a just cause. It energized a lot of us. We keep putting money, putting time, putting efforts on a movement that's already corrupted from the beginning. That some of us discovered later on in that journey. Nobody to tomorrow ever answered that question. Even Oloyegbo, whoever hint here, where Omasio, where Komosio, we won't sponsor any. That movement was sponsored by Tinubu himself. Anytime I'm tún sọ, mo ní mi ò believe pé Olóyè mọ̀ sí because kò lè mọ̀ sí. Kó wà ní irú Kútọ́nù yẹn for that long, kó tún jáde kí for years kí Tinubu mọ̀ dáhùn kó tó di pé Olúbàdàn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá lọ bá ṣe understand kó tó di pé ó tún dè sílẹ̀ because tó bá yẹ pé bí èèyàn yóò ti fẹ́ bọ́ọ̀n because gbogbo alámọ̀ nǹkan tá ojú ẹ̀ rí láàrin mi àti ẹ̀yìn Ìyálájé kí n fọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ pamọ́ díẹ̀ ẹ kí n kọ́ fún yín rí pé olóyè ò lè ẹ́ bà gbé outside Nigeria mo lè ṣàlàyé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mo ṣe ní pé láíláí kò lè jókòó mo ní kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa ta tán sí Nàìjíríà ni ṣe kó mo sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí mi ò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir, ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sir.
And I also told you pé Tinubu had him where they want him. There's no way he's not going to be. When they need him, they will bring him back. And then one day, very low. That's the good money. I mean, also bẹ́ẹ̀. And I also said that. Tó bá fún kọ́tà bọ́ wálé tó bá lè rí kó gbà ọ́ ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe Fúlàní ló ń bá jà. Tó bá kọjú kó ta, tó bá kọyìn sí kó ta, tó bá kó nìkan pé kó tó ìrora rẹ̀ pa because àwọn tó fẹ́ set it up yìí, they're going to set it up big time. Ààrẹ lélẹ̀ o, Palm Market, CSI, lọ́sùn. Sherry, what happened in Osun State? Osun State is going to be a playbook for the end of the year 2020. For this election coming up, this presidential election coming up, because with everything APC does and all the criminal behaviors they did, I'm not saying Adeleke's camp is genuine. Èmi ò like Adeleke o. Èmi ò mọ̀ kò sí ká tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú àwọn election yìí o. I'm not, to me, mo kàn mọ̀ pé mo ti gbàdúrà fún rí. Mi ò sì get àdúrà tí mo gbà. Àdúrà tí mo gbà ni pé ọmọ kan tán jail. Wọ́n sọ boy kan sí ẹ̀wọ̀n.
Ṣẹ́gun olówó òkèèrè.
Lórí ìkànnì. Tọ́ pé òun ló túká iṣẹ́ pé àsúre fún. Mo ní tó púpọ̀ àṣìṣe rẹ̀. Elédùmarè yóò sì jẹ́ kí ni o yóò bá parẹ́. Bóyá nítorí ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run ṣe gbé borí gbogbo wáyà tán dẹ kalẹ̀ fún ní ìjẹta tí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó mú. I don't know. I'd never regretted that prayer. That prayer stands on that one point. Tó ọmọ ìyá oníyà, ó dà ń pọ̀ ọmọkùnrin ọmọ yẹn náà nìkan ṣoṣo ni ẹ̀ bí àbí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ọmọdé lọ sàmẹ́wọ̀n nítorí èèlò.
Nítorí adìẹ.
Nítorí adìẹ. Àwọn sì ń gbé bílíọ̀nù. Àwọn tán gbé adìẹ mélòó ni ìyàwó gọ́fúnà candidate yẹn fẹ́ ní owó yẹn fẹ́ rà. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ dá poultry kalẹ̀ tó máa tó gbogbo gbàjọ owó tán kún pé ń bẹ̀ yẹn fẹ́ tó ó máa tó dálẹ̀ àbí ẹ̀kọ́ wọn mú ọ EFCC wà ń gbòòrò wọn mú ọ tẹ́ bá lọ Nàìjíríà lọ́la tẹ́ lọ pàtí tẹ́ lọ ná owó ń bẹ̀ EFCC máa bá yín o ṣe mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n look at that woman. EFCC they have not arrested, they have not even called her for questioning. This is a country where citizens are not equal. Therefore, it is called what? The animal kingdom. Nobody has said anything. But what happened in Osogbo, this Osun State, recently, Nijetai, it should be given. Yes, this is the end of Tinubu. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ sọ pé yóò ṣe two term. Èmi gbà ládùn àná lágbára Ọlọ́run bóyá kílẹ̀ ọ̀la tó mú kàn ti gbàjọba ẹ̀. Àdúrà tèmi ni ẹgbẹ́ mo sì dúró sí mi ò kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ má sọ pé mo yí òun padà. Ṣùgbọ́n kátẹ́wà sọ pé wọ́n á máa dìlẹ̀ kátẹ́wà pé Ọlọ́run ní dísáàdì pé Ọlọ́run ló ní gbogbo nǹkan lágbára. Mo gbàgbọ́ yóò gbọ́ ìbéèrè mi. Yóò dojú ìjọba ìbolẹ̀ kíákíá lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè. Ṣùgbọ́n kátẹ́wà ní pé fún wọn lórí ọ̀fẹ́ pé kátẹ́ tó wá ṣe election mi. What happened in Osogbo is going to happen. And they should be cause for concern for this government. Agbe olóyè láti jọ ń pariwo Yorùbá nation no going back. Pé nǹkan tó ń ṣe fáwọn pé because lórí àwọn rally yẹn ó sọ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ fọmọ Yorùbá. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tí ìjọba Nàìjíríà ò ṣe dáadáa. Ìyẹn láyé ìgbà tí Buhari ṣe kíni o tó wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Now Buhari is not there. Ìdí ọmọ ẹ̀yìn oníṣèdí bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ló wà ń bẹ̀ láti gbà yẹn nísìnyí. Fúlàní ṣì ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa. Credit to CSI and his team. Wọ́n láwọn ọmọ gbà kalẹ̀ o níbi tó ti jí wọn gbé àbí. I mean that's good thing. Now tíru ẹ̀kún bá dẹ̀ mi sọ pé wọ́n stop killing. If the number of killings in Yoruba land have died down, which I think it has, we should say something about that as well. It's a positive thing. Èmi rò pé ìgbà yẹn ni ìbá dúró sí. Orí ọ̀rọ̀ security yẹn àti contract tó ń sign pẹ̀lú Nigerian government yẹn ibẹ̀ ní bá dúró sí ti bá ti máa jẹun ẹ̀ kó mọ̀ bá wọn dá sóṣèlú tó ń bá kọ́rọ̀ ọ̀dọ́gbọ́n kó mọ̀ tẹ̀ gbójú tàbí ó ṣe gbójú tà ẹ̀. ṣe understand nǹkan tí mo expect nìyẹn because ó gbójú sí Ọ̀ṣun state èmi rí fọ́nrán ibi tó wà lórí stage pẹ̀lú àwọn candidates kan táwọn àwọn tó wà nínú láti ń parí ó ṣá bàbá òun náà ṣe ẹmọ òun náà ṣe bíi peace sign ṣe gáì tó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé àwọn wá sí Òṣogbo yìí pé Òṣogbo yìí àwọn gbà ṣé wọ́n ti gbàjọba lọ́ṣogbo nìyí ṣé APC win. Meanwhile olóyè tẹ̀lé candidate kan rí tẹ́lẹ̀ common win o before now long time ṣe é mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ táwọn yẹn gbà ń gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. òun náà dẹ̀ máa fi ń proud pé àwọn ti candidate kan lẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run sì gbàkóso ìmọ̀ látòrí bàbá Aládọjà tó fi lọ sí area Èkìtì tẹ̀bá rántí káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti ní politics náà but now he came to Òṣogbo how market APC ọmọ ẹni ò ní ṣe ìdíbẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ Tinubu must do third term how market Ọlọ́run mọ̀ pé kò ní ṣe ìkẹta tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́sùn yìí ó ń fi ọgbọ́n ó ń fi òye ó fi ń hàn yín nísìnyí tó bá wù yín kẹ́ gbọ́ ó bá wù yín má gbọ́ tó bá wù yín tinú ara yín kẹ́ ṣe o ṣùgbọ́n tó bá létí kó gbọ́ òtítọ́ ẹnu tèmi sọ yìí. Now you put your face out into APC openly campaigning for them in Osun State and now they ran out of Osun State within around 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Kí ni nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ how far? What type of ridiculous? What type of a disgusting? You understand? What type of a negative? Negative record is that? She understand? Politically now is being disgraced. It's not only for the APC because he put his face on there. He's being disgraced too. This is somebody we all believed in at one point. It may be in your camp. And he should have stayed clear of these people. Focus on his weapon. Time amend ways with Gani Adams. Gani Adams. Mend ways with all these people. With even with architect Akiola. She understand? To make the security network in Yoruba land tight instead of going dabbling face to openly like this into get but they go around last loving sure or politics or no kidding, but you go in face to face in Osun State and now what happened? And if people don't understand what happened, Osun, mashallah.
Thank you, sir.
APC is the ruling party in Nigeria. Tinubu ti lérí ní nǹkan bí 2 months ago or 3 months ago tó ní pé I will win. Bó máa win election tó ń bọ̀ yìí. He saw and then he tried and bribe Britain, bribe France and bribe the United States to keep quiet. That he's going to win. But thank God for some youths. On top of that, let us give shout out to a very dark black man. He ends up with Tinubu must go. He will never win this election. Test ground in Osun State. They came with the intention where they will rig that election. No matter what. They're going to buy their way and rig the election. They'll have the INEC. INEC, Tony, and what about in Nilowo? They're going to do our Tonka election. Tonka, but don't they believe they're going to do all of that. They intimidate people, they even threaten. And then they paid off some people. This is the master plan of the APC to take out the whole entire Yoruba land. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn lè mọ irú ẹ̀ ṣe much ní ilẹ̀ Igbo. Wọ́n dẹ̀ bí pa àwọn àrí àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan ní ilẹ̀ Hausa ṣùgbọ́n overwhelmingly wọ́n fẹ́ make sure pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn clear on the scoreboard. Ṣé get?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Now Osun did not go along. The very next morning they're talking about there is a deal. An agreement is an agreement. Adeleke yà sọ fún kíákíá pé kò sí agreement kankan.
Ìyẹn náà rí kìíní sir. Yes.
Ẹ mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Because Yabanati Omisore was the APC. There was a time Dr. Adeleke ko join APC. Eventually, he decided Moropoti political game to go on, and he remained where you understand. He went through the or whatever accord they were trying to make. Look at all the games, the political games they play. Baba Konde this of 1B. náà àgbàlagbà tó dá ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá yẹn tó ní ìmọ̀ kí lorúkọ wọn nísìn tani pé Tinubu only know how to divide people and put people against each other. He does not know how to. You understand? And this is what he has tried to do. Now, if you look at what happened also going forward, after they thought they have INEC and they're going to bribe their way and everything, they're going to declare winning. But as God will have it, Adeleke not only have the soul of the people, but now you can say jingles online just to appreciate what he has done. All around kankan tó ṣe. Ẹnìkan dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kan pé láyé lágbájá sanwó àwọn òṣìṣẹ́, ayé tàmọ̀dò sanwó àwọn pensioner, láyé Adeleke nígbà tó débẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn people ló ti san.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Tá a bá tiẹ̀ mọ̀ tèmi ò bá support ẹ̀ ṣé kò ṣe dáadáa ni ìyá tèmi náà wà náà tó bá fẹ́. Èmi ò kàn ní kán lọ́bẹ̀ mi ò jẹ́ kí ìyá mi mọ káàkiri òfò rọ́kàn mọ́ tí ò make sense ni. Ṣẹ́gẹ́ káwọn èèyàn àwọn àdúgbò wọn lọ máa tò lórí line àwọn míì máa kú sórí line bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyá tèmi ò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ́bi kankan mọ́ o. Understand?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
But if this man is paying these elderly retired people that have served the nation, if he pay them their dues, èmi ò rò pé nǹkan tó burú ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ilé tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí o. Even though I don't support the election, but I think rightfully God has been very fair.
Right.
Now, number 2, I talk about his character, so what he has done for the people. Number 2, ó tún láwọn supporters lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn lówó gidi tó pọ̀, and one particular one is Davido. Because of the threat that is happening, because of the power of the instrument of government from Tinubu and that party. Davido náà lówó nǹkan tó ní is a celebrity worldwide and an icon in the United States. He also called and notified the presidency, pay attention. See election to ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́sùn, because this is what they're saying, this is what they're saying. And as because of that, even báwọn èèyàn tiẹ̀ down, wọ́n mọ̀ pé Davido has made that official request. Ṣé get?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Nigeria, they believed that the entire world is watching Osun State. That's number 2. Number 3, they also have money to put people in polling booths. Young youths using their phones. You must say election 2027 presidential election tó bọ̀ yìí. Àtìkọ̀ fún Tinubu láti rí ìgbẹ́. Bóyá ló máa wọlé, kò ní wọlé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà, kò ní wọlé lọ́ṣun, kò ní wọlé lọ́yọ̀ọ́, kò ní lógùn. Ẹ máa wò náà. People should pay attention to what's happening here. Àwọn tó lọ ń campaign fún Tinubu yìí, ẹni tó bá ní kó mọ̀ ṣe number 2 yẹn fẹ́ rí. Ẹ máa wò náà bọ̀. You understand? What they did? They have these young children with smartphones near each polling booth. When you count the vote, they're taking it and sending it, and then they themselves publishing it. So they're not waiting for INEC. So it was difficult for INEC to manipulate the elections. Do you see how market APC they're going for it? Show you for him all of about every cool lago. This is the type of ridicule that CSI brought on himself by openly campaigning for this useless government. The same government that is destroying the future of the Yoruba people. This is where I'm very pissed off. There's nothing wrong with him going to politics, but you're campaigning for them to continue to be in government and issuing threats. Number 2. Tinubu is not going to come back number 2. Don't about it, but election. You know, people that have been in the Yoruba Nation movement should at least have some level of decency to understand. But a lot of people are watching things that I've said, my actions in the past. They'll be comparing it exactly to my footsteps going forward.
Wow.
The same government that is destroying the Yoruba people and destroying the entire Nigeria, only for their own sake, only for their own children. And I talk about one hospital. I think Bogun Katan campaigning by Yoruba Nation coin. No hospital in Nigeria. Niti Koda. Àwọn bàbá wọn lè lóko. Àwọn ọmọ ilé ìwé law school. Kò sí kíní kan tó ṣe ọ̀nà ọ̀dà. Understand? These are the things. Has Tinubu done any of these things? And then you campaigning for them? That's a disappointment. That's one of the things. So when we were campaigning for Yoruba Nation, we never actually intended to bring good life to our people? Is that what that means? Not only is the deception, but Yoruba Nation. Now, on top of that, it's all the lies that we continue to tell the people through Yoruba Nation. Because tí o bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀, kí ló ta fi yá padà sí pé campaign fáwọn ìjọ the same ìjọba tó ní àwọn èèyàn tó ń pa àwọn èèyàn wáyé. Èmi ò rò pé ẹnu olóyè náà láti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ sọ pé ẹni torí nǹkan tó fẹ́ jẹ wọ́n bà nǹkan tó fẹ́ jẹ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. So is it not coming now the same thing in case of the pot calling the kettle black? Ọ̀tọ̀ ní ká má sọ wọn. Èmi fẹ́ káwọn bá pín dáadáa. Bóyá going forward he will measure the things he says and put his face where and refuse to have his face in places that he shouldn't be. I mean, my thinking will be if he goes back into politics, have that contract, execute that security, it should be enough. And say, because of what I've done in the past, I don't think maybe I understand. But now you come in openly to come out and support the APC now shows the hard market. Osun State. And that's sad. Now, this somebody some of us like held in high esteem. Now, it's like just any other person. To me, for people that have senses, that have gumption, people that are paying attention to the political landscape in Nigeria, it now looks like any other ordinary guy. That's not what I'm saying. You get? But the fact remains the fact that people should talk about it. The truth remains the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I mean, it's very sad. Because when I saw that, honestly, for hours I was thinking, ABIODUN, kilo sumi 4 or 5 years ago, Timulo soon see Nation. Is this why you went into this? I've seen. Mo sọ fún yín now, ilé Ifẹ̀ dàrú tán báyìí tí mo lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá.
Thank God, sílé ó dàrú. Thank God.
Ó ní ṣe bó ń sọ fún yín báyìí. Ó láwọn tó fi gbogbo tó sọ gbogbo adé kíní inú ilé ni. Do you see that I told you this is going to happen, and it did. Olaye will have just stayed in Iruekun. Iruekun has been so perfect. It's a way to recoup everything he's lost. If he didn't know anything, Tinubu sponsor Yoruba Nation, because that still is in limbo. Nobody's answering that question. But the rest of the Yoruba people, especially those that were involved in Yoruba Nation, that honestly fell for it, like some of us do. Some of us did. Some will see me in their mindset, in their very, very crooked mindset, like a traitor.
That's okay.
If there's any Yoruba Nation, any Yoruba man that's very honest and that's very, very, very honest to the core, to the last, and in support of what I believe in, the values that I hold strong there, there's no other person than myself.
That's right.
But I challenge anyone to confront any of this truth, and let us lay it down. They can challenge to anywhere for debate, and I'm open to it. Have we seen now? So we want to be advisor. I'm wondering who are the people who could for me advice. Get. Maybe he needs to look inward again and see. Maybe he needs those people he needs to listen to, and people he should not be paying attention to. He should watch out, but it doesn't look like after you told our people, all of this, the same government is doing the same thing right now. The government did one thing, gave you freedom, that's fine. Ọlọ́run ló fún yàn ní omi, ló fún yàn ní àwọn yẹn ní kí n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Tinubu, mo ní Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́. Mo ní ẹnìkan oṣù tí mo lè dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ní Olúbàdàn of Ìbàdàn. Kí ló fà á? Ó rántí ọjọ́ kan, ó rántí ọjọ́ kan àná tó kú ohun tó kú Ọlọ́run àti wọ́ pé o ti gbà ń lẹ̀ nígbà òjò rí kó náà gba ẹ̀ nígbà ẹ̀rùn. Ṣé get? Mo ní bàbá yẹn nìkan ni mo rí and then mi ò dẹ̀ gbọ́ nonsense nípa Olúbàdàn yẹn rí. Tó bá wà èmi ò mọ̀. Èmi ò tí rí, I've not come across any ridiculous thing. He's a politician, we know that. We know all politicians are corrupt. That's what I'm saying. But I've not caught him in any kind of drama. Tó wà open, ṣé get? He has never been caught like that. And it looks to me like one of the only elders that are reasonable in Yoruba land now, in a position of power, and who can be considered an elder statesman. But Olúbàdàn is somebody that can make peace win, especially between Ghanaians, the OPC people, and these Iruekun people. And I understand, because if they continue to cause trouble, these people are causing trouble in Yoruba land by pitching their camps against each other. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà sì fẹ́ kógun jà. Mo tó ti ń pariwo eléyìí káwọn èèyàn tètè mọ fura kán mọ dé bí mo ṣe ń dọ̀ ẹ̀. Tọ́ọ̀ bá tètè mú wọn sójú kan. Kán stop àwọn ajá wọn lórí social media yìí tán ta sí olúkálùkù wọn. Tán tètè stop àwọn tó ń ta sí Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ tán ta sí káàkiri tán fọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá. And at the end of the day, it is for their own pockets. Because this is what is becoming now. Looks like it's only for their own selfish intentions, not actually for the Yoruba people. And the Yoruba people are just what? They're victims. They are just being used. I think it would be best if he stay with his Iruekun on how to secure Yoruba land, how to make sure there is functioning security for all of you, how to secure, all the land, everywhere that's called Yoruba land, and make sure there is peace. It would have been also nice if they sponsor and make awareness against this religion. Iru Ibe, Nimatikiru Omobori. He did one particular program. I mean, but Yoruba World Media ni o. Omobori tó ṣe working. But lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta nǹkan tó ń sọ yẹn mo like nǹkan tó ń sọ. I have to talk about that. Where is discouraging people against these religious fanatics that are destroying our land. Sherry, once we can break free from this religion, because religion is nothing brainwash, it's like a medication of they're giving us sleeping pills so that people cannot think right. So if they remove that religious brainwashing from our youth, you will see how Nigeria changes quickly. When the people understand that this world, there's only one life to live. There's only one life, and now here is where you have to claim it. So instead of staying with that security apparatus and maintaining things, and then maintaining your honor, your dignity. Down understand? That's the effect of Osun 2026. Osun 2026. That's the effect. It did the damage that eroded all of those glory. A whole lot of disappointment. He will be thinking, come back to my social campaign.
Gbòòsà fún bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ ṣeun gan ni ẹ kú ohùn ẹ kú iṣẹ́
múra ilẹ̀ presidential election kalẹ̀ ẹ tún gbójú sí ẹ tún máa lọ nígbà táwọn youth bá ń document gbogbo election tí ọmọ yín yóò ṣe dí bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ò wọlé, we're gonna find out when they will chase them out of Nigeria pátápátá, when they will chase them out of that place. Mo fẹ́ rí ibi tí wọ́n ìtú tó ń pa ṣe get ìtú tí ìtú táwọn èèyàn pa nígbà yẹn tí Tinubu bá lose election mo fẹ́ rí.
2027.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má jẹ́ ká lóyún o tí Tinubu bá lose election bá ní pé ẹ̀kẹ́ bá wọn ẹ má dá wọn lóhùn torí wọn rí yín lọ́wọ́ tá a wáyé o. Báwọn wá ṣe ń kú sí hospital wọn rí wọn o. àwọn graduate wa tán ríṣẹ́ ṣe wọ́n rí wọn o àwọn ọmọ iléèwé tán lè lọ iléèwé wọn rí wọn o àwọn bàbá wa tó lè lọ oko wọn rí yín o ìgbà tán fẹ́ rí yín nígbà tán bá fẹ́ dìbò tán fẹ́ gba ipò ẹ má dá wọn lóhùn tán bá ti wọlé o ẹ má jẹ́ wọn brainwash yín o ọmọ ti wá kan níbi kan o ọmọ yín kankan ò ṣèdílé bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbi kankan ẹ má dá wọn lóhùn o it's all lies. ẹni tí ó ṣe ọmọ yín lọ́la tí ó ṣe àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n tiwa àbúrò wa ìyá wa ẹ̀gbọ́n wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti tẹ̀síwájú ní ayé láti níláárí láti jẹ́ èèyàn àwọn oníkẹ́ ìdìbò fún tó bá yẹ pé ìbò máa wáyé èmi ò gbàdúrà káyé ìbò wáyé náà mo gbàdúrà pé kólógún gbàjọba èmi Abíọ́dún Òjó kí ológun gba ìjọba Tinubu àdúrà tèmi gbà nìyẹn. You can quote me anywhere, take me anywhere. I have the freedom of speech. I'm expressing myself and I'm praying for it. I'm not just expressing, I'm praying for it.
ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà mo rí ẹ̀yin ìyá wa tí ń bá mi gbé gbòòsà fún bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ ṣeun tí ń bá ti rí yín Ọlọ́run inú mi máa ń dùn ara mi á yá gágá ènìyàn láṣọ mi ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ ẹ̀yin ìyá wa gbogbo bàbá wa Waris Jinadu ẹ ṣé bàbá ẹ káàbọ̀ Ella bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Ella Eniola Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ó ń kí yín ó wọlé nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn so ó ń kí yín sà we love
you. Thank you. God bless you. God strengthen you and quicken your steps.
ẹ ṣé sà nígbà tí ẹ sọ àwọn nǹkan kan a kàn máa sáré yàbàrà lọ síbẹ̀ mo fi sọwọ́ sí yín sà bàbá Davido Dr. Deji Adeleke ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun wọ́n ní 60 billion naira 60 billion naira òun ni àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tá à ń sọ ẹgbẹ́ APC ni wọ́n ná fún ìdìbò tó wáyé.
mo wá fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wa bá wa ṣírò ẹ̀ school mélòó ló kọ́ ọ̀nà mélòó ló develop hospital mélòó ni 60 billion yẹn ló kọ́ lẹ́ni kí ni owó yẹn dà ibo lówó yẹn wà sáwọn ti fi jàkàrà ní àbí kí ni nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn tánìkan dìbò fún tánìkan kan ó ṣe ẹ̀kẹ́jì ni ẹ̀ o ẹ mọ how many people is going to suffer for that 60 billion because you balance it on the back of some people, right? They'll balance it upon the backs of teachers, upon the backs of workers, upon the back of market people, market women, upon the back of infants and children, upon the backs of doctors and everything. These are the people that will pay the cost. Àwọn èèyàn lẹ́nu kan dìbò fún ẹ tí wọ́n máa padà wá ẹ máa fi tó ń fi ọ̀rọ̀ tuntun máa fi kó àwọn èèyàn wa lómi ọbẹ̀ jẹ ẹ máa fi brainwash wọn kan pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni àwọn èèyàn wa ni o. What are you talking about? Tó bá ṣe Hausa ni ó ṣe èèyàn wa ní kẹ Hausa ni kẹjẹ dìbò fún ẹ má mà dá àwọn people lóhùn o. Unfortunately, I have to say this, and it's so sad that CSI belongs in this category now. They only know about themselves, their own well-being. It's so sad. It is difficult to build a house. Very easy to destroy. Ló fi yẹ kéèyàn ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ kó fi ìrònú ṣe kó fi ọgbọ́n àti ìfarabalẹ̀ fi ṣe nǹkan. ẹ ṣé.
ẹ ṣeun gan ni ẹ ṣé ìyá wa akọ̀wé tẹ́ ń bá mi kí Ella ẹ ṣeun màámi Yẹmí Folúkẹ́ Àgbàyandalẹ̀ ẹ ṣé bàbá Àrólé Oòduà àwọn kí yín bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ ṣeun gan ni. ẹ ṣé bí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa mo kàn máa sáré àwọn kankan tí ẹ sọ nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ a dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Elédùmarè tí ilé yín ò dàrú torí pé mo rántí pé ẹ sọ́rí fún mi a dúpẹ́ a tún dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ mọ́mì náà torí obìnrin ni mí àwọn náà gbìyànjú àìmọye mo mọ ẹnìkan tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n súnmọ́ mi tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí mi ò ní parọ́ fún yín sá ó dàbí pé mo ti sọ́rí fún yín tó jẹ́ pé kìnìyàn dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ nínú ìdílé wọn tó mi ò ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi yòókù sílẹ̀ ẹ dárúkọ Davido sá ṣé mọ̀ pé ká sọ pé àwọn ìdílé Adeleke wọn ò lówó ni ká sọ pé ìdílé kan tó ń tìràkà òun ni ó wà ní ipò gómìnà Adeleke ni ó ṣeé ṣe kó yẹ pé àwọn APC wọ́n máa rí ìgbòyàn.
wọ́n máa gbàjọba ni so a very dark man wá jáde fún wọn lónìí pé ṣètìrí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́sùn àwọn ìrètí yìí tẹ́ bá rò pé máa rí election 2027 ẹ máa bọ̀. This is to tell you that Tinubu and the camp now they're sitting down and working on the next moves.
Mm-hmm.
While they're sitting down, àdúrà tèmi ò dúró. Captain, tàbí lieutenant colonel, tàbí colonel, tàbí major, tàbí general kan tó máa gba ìjọba ẹ̀. Lẹ́dùnmáà tètè ṣí wọn lápá, tètè gbé wọn dìde, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ọwọ́, ká ṣe nǹkan tó kán jẹ́ṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Because I don't believe in democracy right now. I don't believe it, especially because of this imperial West and their attitudes and their policies against Africa. No, they don't want us for good. They want Africa permanently impoverished. They do not want anything that has to do with growth, development for Africa. And then they hated every country that is doing well against their policy impositions, especially Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Who does that? Now you're seeing Africans telling us, oh, let us continue to pray because European Union is saying that human rights violations in Burkina, in the Sahel. So what? Is the Sahel their home? They should mind their business in Europe. African youth should not be praying for any kind of thing to any kind of God about these European threats against African leaders. Do not be calling God. Take matters into your hands and fight them to the last drop of your blood. They do not understand. They gave you religion and prayers so that you can be weak. Throw away that nonsense. Got to fight them to the last blood. If they understand that the African youth will stand up against them, you see how quickly they walk away and back into their cocoons. And you see how rapidly Africa develops and overtakes them. They're banking on the fact that Africans will be timid, they will harass you, intimidate you, and then we'll draw into cocoons. Look at Ibrahim Traoré standing tall against all odds. He's standing very tall, and look at what is happening to Burkina Faso. They're living the best life they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if that happened across Africa? They are afraid all of us will return to Africa. And then they have foreclosures all of their country. And the economy will go bankrupt. And their manufacturing industries will collapse. And what's going to happen? They become third world. That's what they are afraid of. And Africa will be the leader of the world. This is what they are afraid of. And so they can not only, and they're not trying to even make negotiations on how to make life better for Africa and themselves. No, they want to continue to keep us in places where we are dying and working for peanuts and being called shitholes. They'll continue to disrespect us, to treat our leaders whichever way, and kill whoever they want to kill at will without answering, no justice. Till tomorrow, there's no justice for the unaliving of Thomas Sankara. Nobody has ever been taken to court for the killing of Patrice Lumumba. Nobody has been taken to court or even found any for the killing of Gaddafi, and so on, and so on, and for the removal of Nkrumah of Ghana, and so on, all across Africa like that. There must be justice. And the African youths must hold that very dearly to your hearts. You have to understand who you are. Don't let them teach you your own history. Don't let them teach you the history they want you to believe. You got to stay with your own history. Know your story and stay with it and seek justice. Do not let them give you any kind of religion and tell you to pray for your God to come and save you. You have to go into heaven. Seek your heaven here on earth. When you get to heaven, deal with heaven. Here, seek your own peace and your prosperity.
Ẹ mo fẹ́ comment tí mo pin lọ́sọ̀dọ̀ màmá wa yẹn sọ. Wọ́n ní.
Ṣẹ́rí, àwọn tó ń kówó fún gan lè jáwọn ló máa gbàjọba ẹ̀. Ṣẹ́rí owó funfun ni àwọn bàbá ló pa lówe. Wọ́n ní kò tó èèyàn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
Wọ́n ní tó bá yá ojú a máa ti kíni o, a máa ti owó. You can buy everything, o lè fowó ra kú. And you cannot give equal money and say, I don't want to die. It's not possible. Ìjọba ilé wọn ò gbà. Ó lè jẹ́ àwọn tó ń kówó fún yín náà tó rò pé àwọn yẹn gan-an àwọn náà máa gbà. Who knows? Ó dẹ̀ lè jẹ́ tí wọ́n mọ̀ rí. Ó lè jẹ́ ordinary corporal, ordinary sergeant ló máa gbàjọba yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n àdúrà tèmi ni pé wọ́n ó gba ìjọba yìí. Elédùmarè mo sì ti ń gba aládùúrà yìí. Èmi ò fẹ́ kó kú sínú ẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ kán mú láàyè. Torí ojú ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní mo fẹ́ kó rẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú. Kó wà fún ìtàn, àkọsílẹ̀, àdáyébá, àtẹnudọ́ tó àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. Torí ńgbà kan àwa ọ̀sì láyé wọ́n ní tó bá mọ́ ṣeré ṣe kó ṣeré ìgbà tó bá ń ṣèkà rántí wọ́n máa ń pòwe kan tó bá mọ̀ ká pé kó bá rántí kú gáà kò ṣòótọ́ àbí something like that, something ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu náà máa rí yẹ tó mọ̀ fi sọ àṣàràn yọ pé tó bá wọ̀ ìjọba o kò ṣàyèrè tó bá rántí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu kò ṣe ọmọlúwàbí kò ṣòtítọ́ kò sin àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀, something is gonna come up. Àdúrà tèmi fún gbà lágbára Ọlọ́run kó gba ìjọba Tinubu lágbára Elédùmarè kó gba ìjọba Tinubu. Àti pé ó ṣe rere ó ṣiṣẹ́ ń sin àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà pé kó lè dá fún ìlọsíwájú kí ìlọsíwájú lè bá gbogbo Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ pàtàkì jùlọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá. Tó bá yẹ pé ó ṣe ní tòótọ́ ló ń fi gbogbo ara tọkàtara ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní tí mo sọ yóò níṣẹ́ o ṣùgbọ́n mọ̀ Ọlọ́run gan mọ̀ pẹ̀lú pé ara ẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún àtàwọn ìjọba àtàwọn tó wà abroad ó dẹ̀ ń ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la tiwa ó fi ra ipò fúnra ẹ̀ ni. Somebody at 80-something-year-old who wants to continue to be, he does not see a president. Look at the mayor of New York City is 30-something-year-old. The mayor of New York City is more respected anywhere in the world than the president of Nigeria. Are you serious right now? You understand? An 80-something-year-old and the mayor of New York City is not afraid to talk truth to power. Even though one tried to be jihadist, again, what's the threat against you? That you cannot be a father to your own children. If you consider yourself a father of Nigerians, at least you're the leader of Nigerians. You should be like in the fatherly role to all Nigerians, right? Especially to the youth. Look at Ibrahim Traore, 38-year-old. He's not even a father. He's just a father to some little toddlers, some children, a couple, not even 10-year-old kids. Again, he's standing as a father figure for all Burkinabes. Treating each one of them, working selflessly at serious risk to his own personal life for all Burkinabes. And as a matter of fact, by extension, for all Africans. The world is terrified right now because of Ibrahim Traore and the two Sahelian leaders, Abdul Shiani and Ibrahim and Assimi Goïta. Those three are actually bearing the brunt of all pressure for all African countries. I hope the youth will see this. Rise up and encourage military takeover all across Africa. That will unite quickly. It's easier to unite quickly under military rule than all these useless civilians. I think in South Africa, the Nigerian leaders, garbage, Lori Pan-African meeting. You see how democracy, how they twist the whole thing? That's what they want to do in ECOWAS. France, common euro, common currency. Because the Sahel decided to have their own currency. They saw that African youths are more excited about Sahel. What did they do? They went to ECOWAS quickly. Okay, let us do this. Try and do common currency that you're moving in the same progress. Just to counter the Sahel. This is France for you. Very evil people. I cannot hide my feelings. I'm telling you the truth. How come for 60 years, West Africa didn't common currency, all of the colonies, you want them to be using your own franc. Now that three broke away and decided to have their own currency, you're now talking to the rest. Now you saw African youths are more excited thanks to social media, not the main media. Thanks to social media, that the African youths are more excited about what's happening in the Sahel. because they want to start collecting taxes now through that currency. Or ECOWAS is trying to create a common currency called the ECO. Stupid. Ebola were 3 years ago. Where were they before the Sahel started these initiatives? They saw brilliant minds. They cannot understand, they cannot comprehend what's happening in the Sahel. They're sponsoring coup, they're sponsoring terror, they're sponsoring everything against the Sahel. It's still not holding. They're still frustrating them in terms of trying to jeopardize all of their plans. It's not working. It's time to go. Their time is up. Their time is up, and Africa must be free. And I believe God. Oh, ní fẹ́lómi ṣe Ibrahim Traore lágbára Ọlọ́run. Yóò jẹ́ṣẹ́ ìlàjẹ́ yé ni lágbára Olódùmarè. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ní àdúrà àdúrà gbà tọ́lọ́run gbọ́. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá máa fi sínú àdúrà. Àwọn leaders yìí kẹ́sì fi kan kún tèmi náà ń béèrè kọ́lọ́run kó dojú ìbọn ìjọba Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. Ìkejì, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ní agbára tẹ́ mọ̀ sá tó jẹ́ bí idán, àwọn agbára tí bàbá wa lè filẹ̀. Mo bẹ̀ yín ni, ẹ jẹ́ kó wù yín láti ran àwọn arákùnrin lọ́wọ́. Pé kógun ayé mọ́ borí wọn, kógun àwọn ẹni ibi kó mọ́ borí wọn. Because ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ wa àti padà sílé àwa ìran yìí tó ta fẹ́ sọnù sí abroad yìí kalẹ̀ mórí tẹ́tẹ́. Ó depend lórí survival àwọn people yìí. It depends on their survival. Their survival depends on, is directly related to African freedom. Let us continue to pray for them. Let us support them with everything we have. Ní sọ̀rọ̀ kan jọ kan nígbà tó lóye lọ sáàfin lẹ́yìn recently tó ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ irú ẹkùn. Ó ní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ní ohun ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ó ní òun gan fúnra látòní lọ òun ó gbé ti tó ń bá ńlẹ̀ ṣẹ́gẹ́ òun ó gbé kalẹ̀, which is what should be. Ìtumọ̀ ni pé àgbájọwọ́ la fi ṣe kí ni o. Ìsọ̀yà. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ní nǹkan kan tẹ́ lè fi ran Ibrahim Traore, Abdulrahman Shiani, Assimi Goita lọ́wọ́ pé kí ogun àwọn ẹni orí burúkú yìí kó mọ́ borí ẹ̀, kó ọ̀tẹ̀ láti inú láwọn tó bá gbàbọ̀dè kó mọ́ borí rẹ̀, kí àṣeyè kó jẹ́ tiẹ̀ àti tìran wa. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, don't hide it, use it to support them. Ọlọ́run sì fún gbogbo wa ṣe.
Àṣẹ.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà, ẹ kú ohùn. Bàbá wa wà ní orí aago. Dádì ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ dúró, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú sà. Nǹkan tí mo pín nìyàn dádì, ẹ máa bá mi wò ó. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sí mo ṣe dídì fi sílẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n màá jẹ́ kí bàbá wa tí wọ́n wà lóru tí wọ́n pè wọlé. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá Ìyálájé. Comment tí mo pín nìyàn dádì, mo fẹ́ kẹ́ wò ó. Kẹ́dẹ̀ mo dídì fi sílẹ̀ ni. So ẹ káàbọ̀ bàbá Ìyálájé, ẹ káalẹ́ sà.
Ìyálájé ẹ̀lẹ́ kó ètò.
Mo kí yín bàbá mi.
Ẹ̀lẹ́ kó àsìkò yìí.
Àsìkò yìí ni sà.
Dr. Abiodun Ojo mo kí yín o. Ẹ̀lẹ́ kó àtàárọ̀. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ kó
Ẹ ṣé sà.
Èmi nípa àkókò yìí bí n pé mo rò pé ìwà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tàbí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣe tán láti
àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ̀sí. Rárá, mo wà nílé o. Ilé ni mo wà, mi ò kánjú lọ níbẹ̀.
Mi nígbà àkókò yìí. Ìṣẹ́rí nípa ètò tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yìí ni. Ṣe rí èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan, just exactly bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ náà wípé ọ̀rọ̀ democracy tí wọ́n gbé wá bá wa ní Áfíríkà, which is it's just a scam náà ni, irọ́ ló wà ń bẹ̀. Because democracy ò lè solve problem Áfíríkà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n kàn fi ń parọ́ fún wa ni. Like irú election tó ń ṣe ní Osun State lọ́jọ́ Saturday, àti ọ̀tún àti òsì, èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan kò sẹ́ni tí mo support nínú àwọn méjèèjì, àti Adémọ́lá Adélékè o àti Ṣé Oyèbánjí ni o, kò sẹ́ni tí mo support. Gbogbo àwọn pátì yẹn náà bí ìdájọ́ làkèdè sí bí ìkan ògbé kan ni àwọn gbogbo àwọn pátì yẹn, especially APC àti bíi PDP àti nǹkan àkọọdì tí Adémọ́lá Adélékè tó lọ, they are just like the same. Èmi dẹ̀ máa ń sọ wípé anybody tó jẹ́ pé tó máa fẹ́ yàn, tó bá jẹ́ pé rí democracy kankan là ń ṣe, tàbí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bó ṣe wà ilẹ̀ kóòtù òjíire, tí ó bá jẹ́ pé a wà lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà, ìbá jẹ́ wípé ẹni tó bá jẹ́ pé kì í ṣe ẹ̀sìn àjòjì méjèèjì ló ń ṣe, tó jẹ́ pé nǹkan àwọn tiwa gan ló ń ṣe, yẹ irú èèyàn èmi lè sọpọ́tì ẹ̀, tí mo mọ̀ pé tó bá dìbò fún tó bá wọlé, nǹkan àwọn bàbá ńlá wa ló máa fi ṣèbúra fún. But àti ọ̀tún àtòsí, ẹni tó jẹ́ ti Islam tó jẹ́ pé Quran náà wọ́n fi ṣèbúra fún, tó jẹ́ pé irọ́ ló wà ńbẹ̀, ẹni tó jẹ́ Christian tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n fi Bible búra fún, tó jẹ́ pé irọ́ ló wà ńbẹ̀. As a result of that, èmi pé bóyá wọ́n congratulate Adémọ́lá Adélékè ipò ogun ní election, èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan, I'm not part of it, I'm not part of it. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mi ṣe di, that is my stand. Tó jẹ́ pé mi ní kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀, lẹ́yìn pé irọ́ ni, because mo dẹ̀ máa tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation náà, èmi believe pé kóníkálukú lọ tiẹ̀ ó tán, but pẹ̀lú eléyìí tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pass, pẹ̀lú gbogbo game tó ń play lóríṣiríṣi nígbà yẹn náà nípa tọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn ti lọ, but èmi believe pé total dissolution òní the only way. Nípa tọ̀rọ̀ military báyìí, I'm not a skeptical person, and I'm optimism. Nípa tọ̀rọ̀ ti military, èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan ò kì í ṣe pé bóyá mi sọ pé kò lè possible o, but èmi ń wò wípé with the structure tí colonial contraction kọ́ Nàìjíríà bó ṣe wà, mo máa ń wà a little bit nípa ti pé kí àwọn ológun kan gba ìjọba, yes, but with the bó ṣe wà comparing to àwọn ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tó kù tó jẹ́ pé Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń ṣe dáadáa, tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti kúrò lábẹ́ àwọn imperialism, wọ́n ti kúrò lábẹ́ àwọn western world, tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé they are doing fine, yeah, àwọn ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn wọ́n ń ṣe dáadáa, ìyẹn ti bẹ̀ yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ notice pé most of àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n understand the geopolitics. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé geopolitics is not about religion. Religion is a different thing. Geopolitics is a different thing, but wọ́n mix ẹ̀ papọ̀. But with the way tí ọ̀dọ̀ wa ṣe rí, religion and politics, they are together. They are just like 5 and 6. Yeah, we don't separate religion from politics. Yeah, ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa níbẹ̀ yẹn. Gẹ́gẹ́ mo ṣe máa ń sọ all the time wípé Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu òun ló lọ ṣe alliance pẹ̀lú Buhari nígbà yẹn, tí wọ́n ṣèṣì kí lórúkọ Jonathan kúrò ńbẹ̀ nígbà yẹn lọ́hùn, tó jẹ́ pé from there ní insecurity ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gbilẹ̀ sí láti bí 2014 wọ́n ti gbà tí wọ́n gbé Jonathan kúrò ńbẹ̀ tí Buhari wọlé, tó jẹ́ pé from there most of àwọn agenda tí Buhari tó ti ní àti Fúlàní man tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí implement ẹ̀, tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo insecurity yẹn náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń wọ́ sí up till now. Therefore the fact pé APC náà láti ìgbà tán ti wà ń bẹ̀, gbogbo nǹkan tó bọ̀ ń wọ́ sí kò sí changes rárá at all, because Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a part of this. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pàápàá ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Tó bá wo ọ̀dọ̀ wa báyìí, especially nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, kí lorúkọ ẹ̀, feudality ó ti wọ ọ̀dọ̀ wa, jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ Haúsá ló wà tẹ́lẹ̀ láti ti lè sọ pé níwò ẹ̀ tí ọba lọ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá everywhere ni ó di wípé àwọn èèyàn the rate of poverty ìṣẹ́ túbọ̀ ń pọ̀ sí ni ó túbọ̀ ń pọ̀ sí gbogbo nǹkan dẹ̀ túbọ̀ ń hard sí ni ní kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ ní feudalism kí lèèyàn fi ń recognize the feudalism nǹkan mẹ́ta ni wọ́n weaponize poverty wọ́n weaponize religion wọ́n dẹ̀ weaponize ignorance because only an ignorance person will suffer ignorance ò dáa bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa sọ pé education wípé illiterate is a disease no kí lorúkọ ignorance is a kí n sọ pé disease is a ìyẹn ignorance kò dáa tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ wo ọ̀dọ̀ wa a lot of youth of nowadays wọ́n understand the history wọ́n mọ history rárá àtọ̀ history is very important ó important gan kí wọ́n mọ history most of our youth of nowadays láti ìdíje tó yẹ pé ó fi wà lára nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé most of our tó wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀sì wọn gan tó jẹ́ pé that the problem àwọn kan tó ń fìyà jẹ wọ́n tí ó jẹ́ pé àwọn kankan náà tún tẹ̀lé ní àwọn iṣẹ́ ní àwọn youth of nowadays àwọn tó bá dẹ̀ rí a lot of things ni wọ́n lò láti fi máa irú àwọn láti fi distract most of our youth of nowadays ẹ̀sẹ̀ àtọkùnrin àtọkùnrin sport wà nú ẹ̀ music náà wà nú ẹ̀ nínú nǹkan àwọn tó ń sọ pé wọ́n pera wọn ní tó ń sọ pé celebrity ni wọ́n tó yẹ pé lọ́tọ̀ ọ̀dọ́dà yẹ̀yẹ́ brity ni wọ́n yẹn ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa bẹ̀ yẹn they are also part of the problem they are working for the politician because of their own selfish interest àti pé because of their pocket àwọn náà wà lára tó ń distract most of àwọn kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ àwọn youth of nowadays tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà lórí social media wọ́n máa sọ pé influencer yìí tó sọ pé wọ́n influence ìkíní tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí lọ́nà àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí dẹ̀ léléyìí ìkànnì tó jẹ́ pé máa liberate wọn orí ìkànnì tó ti lè gbọ́ òtítọ́ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti lè mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ wọn ní lọ síbẹ̀ but orí ìkànnì tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti ń sọ àwọn stupid talk tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ló máa ṣe wọn lọ́nà ibẹ̀ náà máa lọ and at times when I look at our people tí máa ń wo àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n fi bẹ́ẹ̀ fọ́ ìtọ́ wọ́n fẹ́ òtítọ́ that is the problem and òtítọ́ tẹ̀lé léyìí wọ́n ní òtítọ́ nìkan ló lè gbé orílẹ̀-èdè lékè òtítọ́ kò dẹ̀ lórúkọ méjì wọ́n fẹ́ òtítọ́ ibi tó wá ti máa tàn wọ́n jẹ ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ẹ wo election Adeleke lọ́dún state wọ́n tó ṣe election yẹn ẹ wo bí 3 weeks ago 2 weeks ago ẹ wo bíbẹ̀ yẹn ṣe wà chaotic so ẹ wo gbogbo yòògùdìyàn tó ń lọ tó ń pa àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ àwọn olóde bàbá ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ìyá gbogbo kìíní àwọn ọmọ máfíìs irú àwọn ọmọ Adeleke bá kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣe wọ́n láti Oyètọ́lá náà kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣe wọ́n àwọn wo ní instrument tí wọ́n ń lò àwọn ọmọ máfíìs àná ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀hún wọn dẹ̀ léyìí àwọn ọmọ wọn farabalẹ̀ wọn ò lọ sórí ìkànnì tó jẹ́ pé ó lè ṣí wọn níyè wọ́n fi lè wake up tó lè liberate wọn wọn ò ní lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà báyìí ṣe tension yẹn bàtà Adeleke ti wọlé báyìí ní Saturday tension yẹn ti wò ó ti lọlẹ̀ but wọ́n tó fa àwọn ọmọ kò lè yàn tó sẹ̀mí wọn sọ wọ́n tó fa àwọn tí wọ́n pa tí wọ́n kúkú sàrà tó lé pé most of them wọ́n kú at a tender age ìgbà Adémọ́lá Adeleke máa bá láìfọ ẹ̀ náà wọn àtàwọn family ẹ̀ ṣé mọ̀ ìṣe orí bákan wọ́n bí ẹ wo Iran lè ní náà báyìí Trump òun ti ń back down ó ti di pé bẹ́ẹ̀ni pé egungun ẹja ti sá sí lọ́nu ó rán kìíní ló lọ bá dé tó wà ní Israel and àwọn Israel ló dẹ̀ ń pùṣẹ̀ tí ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ tó ń pùṣẹ̀ why tó ń dẹ̀ fi ń pùṣẹ̀ torí because of secret ẹ̀tọ́ ní lọ́wọ́ especially about Epstein file ó wà lára àwọn tí nǹkan táwọn àwọn Zionists Israelis ló pùṣẹ̀ Iran mi rò pé mọ ìṣe Iran tó bá mọ ìṣe Iran kò ní mọ̀ pé wrong country ló lọ bá dé yẹn
Iran ti ní civilization for thousands of years. Iran is one of the countries tó jẹ́ pé kò sẹ́ni tó colonize wọn. Yeah, it's a Muslim country ní Iran. Kì í ṣe àwọn Arab ló gbé Islam wá fún Iran ni o. Iran was Persian before. During the time of àwọn Ottoman Empire, ó pẹ́ tí Iran ti wà. Civilization ti wà there for so many years. Yeah, it's Islamic country, you know, and majority of them, they are Sunnis, you know, almost 90-something%. Christianity now one bell percentage on Christianity to one bell, you know, go to pick up 5%. But in science, in technology, in military, in everything, Iran is doing fine. Now by àwọn méjèèjì Israel àti America wọ́n ti get stock, wọ́n wá way láti jáde, but ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa tí ò mọ history, especially àwọn míì tó jẹ́ Christian, wọ́n support America, wọ́n support Israel because of ignorance. Wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé it's not about religion lélẹ̀. It's not about religion. It's a separate thing. This is about pé wọ́n fẹ́ kí àwọn imperialism kan control wọn. Wọ́n fẹ́, and this is also a part of example fún Africa country nípa kan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Iran àti America àti Israel yìí, but àwọn èèyàn wa ò pay attention sí nǹkan mìíràn, wọ́n pay attention sí, especially wọ́n pay attention sọ̀rọ̀ religion. Nǹkan táwọn mi rí ìyẹn bọ̀ wọ́n, they don't see nǹkan wọn mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, but wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ religion ni, which is wọ́n understand there. Ṣé rí táwọn èèyàn wa kọ́ tó bá lè wà liberated tàbí kan decolonize mind, a lot of our people wọ́n fẹ́ decolonize mind wọn from imperialism, because nínú kan ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bẹ̀ yẹn, a lot of ogun tó ń jà wá ọwọ́ àwọn imperialism wà nú ẹ̀, yàtọ̀ sí ti ọ̀rọ̀ Islamization tó dàbẹ̀ kó ń lọ yẹ tó ń lọ, but ọwọ́ àwọn West náà wà ń bẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, but our people out of ignorance wọ́n understand it. That is the reason tó jẹ́ pé a man like Kwame Nkrumah, I so much respect him. Mo rántí ń gbà lára àwọn kan tó sọ wípé ó ń sọ fún àwọn Ghanaians wípé if nǹkan religion kan máa tíṣẹ̀ lára àwọn curriculum school nígbà yẹn, ó dà pé nǹkan gbogbo Africa ló bá sọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ pé wọ́n láti wà based on science, technology, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló mention síbẹ̀ yẹn nígbà yẹn pé kán take religion kúrò ní ibẹ̀ tó sọ nípa traditional medicine náà. It is also very, very important. Ẹ wo Kwame Nkrumah náà ló ṣe jẹ́ pé àwọn West náà ló tún wà ní ìdí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀, but a lot of àwọn èèyàn wa they don't understand. Understand the history of Africa, history of country. History important fún àwọn èèyàn, but the people they don't understand it. Ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Ṣówòrè, nípa ọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan tó sọ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ṣówòrè ó sọ wípé everything tó ń bá sọ is not wípé kì í ṣe allegation, ó ní kì í ṣe allegation wípé òun ìwà láyé wípé tó ń bá sọ nǹkan tó mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ wípé it's not about allegation, because èmi náà wo ọkàn tí mo wo kíní interview èèyàn tó ṣe pẹ̀lú èèyàn kan lórí postcard èèyàn kan, ó ní kì í ṣe allegation wípé tó ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ òun mọ nǹkan tí òun sọ. But our people ẹni tó bá dàbẹ̀ kó sọ tó ń try àti ojú wọn àwọn gangan lájẹ́ bí enemy bí ọ̀tá wọn, but àwọn tó ń oppress wọn gangan làwọn máa tẹ̀lé, tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa brainwash wọn, tó máa parọ́ fún wọn, táwọn gan ní lọ ṣe research on their own. but one is those are the problem. Election, or democracy, only fẹ́ problem wa, only fẹ́ problem wa. Even me buy because I'm not part of it now. Election, I'm not part of it. I've done with it so many years ago. Timothy Bubu kini won yi pe iro no wa be won ton àwọn èèyàn jẹ ni wọ́n deceive wọn because religion politics ní ọ̀dọ̀ just like they say even most of àwọn ìlú tó ṣe dáadáa wọ́n separate politics from religion completely. Wọ́n separate ẹni but lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bẹ̀yẹn wọ́n mú papọ̀ ni wọ́n mú religion and politics àtọ́mọ́dọ̀ ní sọ wípé ẹ̀sìn mélòó ló wà lọ́dọ̀ wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí mi o as a person ẹ̀sìn méjì mo mọ̀ kó wà lọ́dọ̀ wa which is for religion because àwa mọ̀ kóòtù òjìire àwa mọ̀ irúmọlẹ̀ àmọ́ Yorùbá àní ẹ̀sìn àṣà àti ìṣe òun là ní spirituality ní àwa mọ̀ we don't have any religion but religion gbọ́ wá bá wa which is organized religion ẹ̀sìn àjòjì méjèèjì ni mo mọ̀ gbà ní lọ́dọ̀ wa yàrá jẹ́ máa bóyá ẹ̀tọ́ lọ lọ́tọ̀ abẹ́nú ìjọba tó kéré lọ nǹkan tí mo kàn ní kí n sọ nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa bàbá Ìyálájé Adijọ́ ní ètò ni o ẹ pẹ́ fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo ilé wa sà ẹ ṣé gan ni sà ẹ ṣé sà ẹ bá mi gbé gbòòsà fún bàbá Ìyálájé ẹ kú òun ẹ ṣé. Bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà tẹ́ bá máa ní mọ̀ bóyá ní ìkọ̀kan sọ sí nǹkan tí mo dìde fi sílẹ̀ sí orí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni mo rí post yẹn mo mọ̀ pé so many people will have that same talk.
Yes.
Wọ́n ní CSI àti Professor Banji Akintoye had risked their life for Yoruba nation. Whatever position they take in Nigeria's current politics is their prerogatives. That's what some people will say. That is, if you take it as an isolated in context, that it is an isolation. CSI and Professor Banji Akintoye, number one, the battles of Professor Banji Akintoye, he has a lot of questions to answer, which he has refused to answer. And I'm not a gullible man. And a lot of Yorubas are not stupid. But he treated everybody as being stupid. And some people continue to believe that they are stupid. This is a man that told all Nigerians, all Yorubas, that, listen, if anybody pretty much understands Professor Banji Akintoye and me, Moses ABIODUN, happen to know him very well, to a great extent when it comes to the movement of Yoruba nation. I must speak with him at least within 24 hours each day for more than 2 years. So if people will be talking, they should know what they're talking about. And for me to come to this point is because of ample, more than enough information and evidence. So when you say Professor Banji Akintoye has risked his life and all that, and first, Professor Banji Akintoye needs to answer a number of questions, which he refused cleverly not to answer, because that's wisdom. Because to answer it is to actually pass a judgment on himself, or when it comes to conduct and behaviors in the Yoruba Nation movement. He will not answer that question. You can tell convict any. First, openly, the same person to share any picture of Baba Akintoye, video àti audio tó sọ pé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jókòó síwájú lẹ́yìn kẹ́ wọṣọ funfun kẹ́ mú flag orílẹ̀-èdè wa dání bá ṣe gba orílẹ̀-èdè wa ní abẹ́ẹ̀rí.
Èmi rè sà.
Wọ́n ní tó bá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mélòó àwọn á padà wá sọ fún wa kí ni the next action tá máa take àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ṣé ti padà rí fídíò kankan míì tí Baba Akintoye ti padà sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ mi o, this is the next steps to take. I'm just taking that because that's on the surface. A lot of other things is still classified, I cannot reveal. But that simple question, people should ask that question. A lot of us believe, including myself, and as a proof, I'm going to tell us here, there was a time shortly after Baba Yeloge had left, after the new, after the turnover of events, eventually I happened to just be the general secretary at the time, because my time has not elapsed at the time. There was a resolution done on Nsokwe, Baba has to move back to Nigeria because the cost of maintaining his residence in Cotonou and all of that was going on. Maybe I shouldn't even say some of these things at this point. But I wanted to prove one thing. I, being the general secretary of the YSDM then, hello minutes, video daddy. I have all of this on record. I was the only one that raised a motion saying that Baba must not be allowed to leave Cotonou for now because of his safety. If anybody wants to question that, who raised that motion? He council to vote to maintain one at the cost, the personal cost of maintaining that residence in Cotonou. Who was the one that raised it? That's when we believed. And what was my reason then? That Baba Akintoye is the only person that Yorubas can rally around. Every other leader much at the time. And that we cannot lose him. And why must he go to? I just felt that we need to pay, we have to continue to pay whichever way to keep him there as the law, as much as God keeps him alive. For this movement to continue. So when people talk about this, that he has risked his life and everything, people should understand all of these things, these facts. But secondly, why did Baba refuse to answer Showore? Some people are saying he risked his life. Are you sure he risked his life? Or he was actually doing Tinubu's bidding? People should ask. Yoruba world media will not ask that question. Some of us don't want to hear the truth. Some of us do not want to hear the truth. And a lot of our leaders who are deceptive, they understand that truth about us. And they use that to continue to keep us, in control. They want to label us and tag us. Because of that. Because Yoruba man tenumo kini. Money Yoruba won go. Ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n gbọ́n tinútinú tẹ̀yìntẹ̀yìn. Mo ní iye wa pé làákàyè wa jinlẹ̀ dáadáa ìrònú wa ó jìn. Ṣùgbọ́n Yorùbá ni ó dọ̀bálẹ̀ tètè inú rẹ̀ sì máa dúró. Wọ́n tábà ní Yorùbá ọmọ kan tán ṣe wọ́n máa dán ṣe o. They know exactly what they're doing. Wọ́n kàn fi àìsọ̀rọ̀ àìfọ̀hùn ló fi pàdé. So when you start to be that you'll be in meetings and you say, are people not understanding? Are people not seeing? Are people not listening? And you're the only one that's asking the right questions, and now they're tagging you like, what are you going to do? You're going to leave. People understand? They know. People know the truth. But majority of our people do not like to talk, ask the right, or say the truth. They don't like to say it. General Secretary, òótọ́ nìkan tẹ́ ń sọ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn onísọ̀rọ̀ òótọ́ nìkan tí mo sọ pé tẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sí. Ṣé èyí kan máa ń jà wá dé ni? Instead, everybody will keep quiet and make it look like you're the only one. Tó bá yá wọn pé ó rò pé òun ló gbọ́n jù ni, ó rò pé òun ló mọ̀ jù ni, ó rò pé òun ló. So now I left. I just won the election. Less than 2 months, more resigned. Instead of 2 years, I had another 2 years to be in the wise. I resigned. They cannot tell me that those are false, because you look at everybody is not talking. Everybody will keep quiet. And now it will not say Baba did anything. I want to say, council. I said it in the executive meeting. I said it in council meeting. àwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí wọ́n sọ pé they risk their life. What kind of risk life? You understand what I'm saying? People are not going to ask those questions. Because now, look at what Showore said. Is it true that Yoruba Nation movement was actually sponsored by Tinubu? Baba Akintoye will not answer that question till tomorrow. Yes. Tẹ́bá ti sọ pé Olóyè Ìgbòho risk life rẹ̀ ó tọ́ ni. Èmi mo jẹ́ kẹ́tọ́ pé the only reason tí mo sì darapọ̀ mọ́ Yoruba Nation mo tún máa ń sọ ẹ̀ má tún sọ again lẹ́ni. Mo ní torí èèyàn kan ni. Torí Sunday Ìgbòho ni. Mo sick njọ́ kan mi ò lọ bíṣẹ́. Kí dẹ́ kẹ́kẹ́ mo mọ̀ rí I didn't know him from anywhere. And in some of my postings lórí Facebook mi ò delete kankan káwọn lọ wo gbogbo postings mi. Tí máa sọ pé téèyàn kankan bá wà láyé tí mo fẹ́ meet láyé pé kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ kí n pàdé ẹ̀. Pé ó ń ṣe nǹkan méjì pé kí n kàn tiẹ̀ bọ́ ṣèkì ọwọ́ ẹ̀ báyìí. Mo ní Sunday Ìgbòho ni. Ọlọ́run sì kìnnú mi dá ni ẹ. The only reason I joined was because of him, this movement. Torí mo wà nínú ilé yẹn mi ò lọ bí iṣẹ́ ni mo call out. Mo wá wo ẹ̀mọ̀ kí ẹ̀hún tired kọ̀ọ̀kan wò pé kí ló fẹ́ wò. Mo wá gbé sí mo wá lọ YouTube. Mo sùn sórí bed mo wá tan TV yẹn. Mo wá lọ sórí YouTube. Mo wá ń wo àwọn movies on mo lè wò. Mo kàn wá rí title movie yẹn Sunday Ìgbòho. Ní wá ń gbà tèmi ń dàgbà nílẹ̀ Bàrìbà. Nílẹ̀ àwọn Fọ̀wọ́. Ìgbòho bàbá tó ní Abúlẹ̀ Sowó pé àwọn ọmọ Ìgbòho tó bá mọ bàbá Abúlẹ̀ Sowó lónìí. Bàbá yẹn kọ́lọ́run kó fọ̀run kẹ́ o. Bàbá Abúlẹ̀ Sowó ó ní bread industry ní wáwá. Bread ló ń bake Abúlẹ̀ Sowó bread. Ọmọ Ìgbòho ni wọ́n. Àwọn àti ọ̀rẹ́ wọn bàbá Ọládàyọ̀ ọmọ Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ làwọn bread làwọn méjì ń bake. Ká tó sọ Ògolúwa. Ó dà pọ̀ ọmọ Ṣẹ́yìn àbí nǹkan ni bàbá yẹn jẹ́ you understand? Ìyẹn náà bread Yorùbá làwọn mẹ́ta tán break bread ní wáwá. Bàbá Abúlẹ̀ Sowó bàbá Ọládàyọ̀ àti dáàdì mi lọ́jọ́ dá Baptist Church kalẹ̀ ní wáwá. Because my father was the area headmaster principal. School private school ìkan náà halls school yẹn la kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ṣe church. And then we moved from there, we built a church. Church yẹn tó kéré a tó build another bigger one ní wáwá. Tó bá wà ní wá tó bá máa wáwá. Èmi Abíọ́dún Òjó ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ Isaac Fọlọ́runṣọ́ Òjó. Ẹ béèrè lọ bàbá Ládàyọ̀ tí kú bàbá Ládàyọ̀ sì wà ń bẹ̀. So Ìgbòho when I saw Sunday Ìgbòho orúkọ ọmọ mi dẹ̀ jẹ́ Sunday boyfriend yìí. Wọ́n á ní jẹ́ kí n wo movie. This was how ẹnìkan ṣe movie lórí Sunday Ìgbòho. Wọ́n á ń launch ẹ̀ ńjọ́ yẹn. He gave that boy I think 200,000 or something that day. But gbogbo bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tó fẹ́ launch movie yẹn. Àwọn tó wà ní táwọn ń ṣe artist Nigerians yẹn wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ o wọ́n pọ̀ ń bẹ̀ o. Àwọn èèyàn pọ̀ ní tó ti launch movie yẹn o tó ṣe ẹni boy yẹn ṣe movie lórí Sunday Igboho. That time I don't know him. Ṣẹ́mọ̀ èmi ti kúrò lé ó ṣe díẹ̀. But somebody used his story to do a movie. So I watched it and I listened. But gbogbo bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ńjọ́ yẹn ṣẹ́mọ̀ wá pé rí ìyẹn wò lélẹ̀. Ṣé gẹ́ẹ̀tì? Ẹ̀wọ̀n bó lè ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀. Èèyàn kí ń dáadáa kó mọ́ kù síbi kan. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ kó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa. But téèyàn bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó máa ń bí èmi nínú ni pé irú èèyàn wò lélẹ̀. Because mi fẹ́ kéèyàn máa lérí nǹkan tí ò dáa ní iwájú tèmi gan máa wò pé kí ni nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ náà because that tèmi máa ń sọ fún mi pé ó ní àfi fìlà pé ni ó ní ọjọ́ kan ló gba ìgbẹ́. So I don't fear no one. I understand téèyàn bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ bákàbákà máa wò pé kí ni nǹkan tó fẹ́ dà gan náà. So I paid attention to him. Ní ọjọ́ yẹn nígbà tó ń ṣe ẹni tó bá lọ ẹ lọ wo movie yẹn ẹni kébí òparọ́ tó ló ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé òun náà ṣe máa ṣe governor Ọ̀yọ́ state. Tó bá yẹ pé kò make statement yẹn ni bóyá àbá máa watch ẹ̀. But I'm the type of person that pay attention to what's happening in Nigeria. I've been paying attention to the politics in Nigeria for a long time. And not only in Nigeria, across the world. So when he said that, money definitely, but boy, it has to be something about this man. Tó fi ṣe movie lórí ẹ̀, wọ́n láti jẹ́ nǹkan kan gidi. And then nǹkan tó ṣe movie lórí ọ̀rọ̀ agbára Yorùbá náà ṣe get gbogbo àwọn iṣẹ́ akíkanjú tó ti ṣe especially ní Modake. Then mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní research, and I went into that how he started with Baba Ladoja. I get so many things. So I started paying attention and started following everything that has to do with him. I watched him constantly go to the people join Yoruba Nation. Eventually, go law into politics. Because mo rántí pé níkan náà àwọn bóyá Christmas tá máa ń lọ ni, because ní church wa ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́ni tó máa ń host Christmas party, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́ni máa ṣe Thanksgiving, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́ni tó yẹ a máa lọ sílé wọn fún Easter, and I understand. So ibi tó bá wọlé ká, so we always go to different members' house for those events. So one evening, that was one of those gini, mo wá dá ọ̀rẹ́ kalẹ̀. Kẹlẹ̀ maka mo monitor, mo dá ọ̀rọ̀ Sunday Igboho kalẹ̀. Mo ní there was one guy ní Nigeria nsìn tí ẹ̀ ń lérí ogun káàkiri gbogbo ayé. Ṣẹ́gẹ́ tó sọ pé òun gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́n ṣe governor. Mo ní ayé Nigeria di bàjẹ́ tó bá dé stage. Mo ní ẹ káwọn èèyàn pay attention sí o. Mi ò kú ní parọ́ fún yàn. Àwọn kan tí mo ń sọ nígbà yẹn nípa ẹ̀ nìyẹn. But everything that I went through, mo kàn rí pé tó bá sọ̀rọ̀, ibi tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí ló máa dúró sí. Ṣẹ́gẹ́ when he says things, he follows it. When he says things, he stays there. So mo ti expect pé dandan ló máa fẹ́ contest election. The more reason why I was monitoring him, but he eventually never went into contesting election. But ó sọ lẹ́nu ara ẹ̀ báyìí gongogo báyìí pé òun máa di governor of your state. Mi ní parọ́ mọ́ yàn, káwọn yàn lọ wo movie yẹn. Kí tí mo ṣe monitor ẹ̀ ní ẹgbàá yẹn. Now come to fast forward to Yoruba Nation. And then he made a mention kó tó di pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé àwọn bàbá wa kan wà níbẹ̀ tán jẹ́ ń díẹ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó lágbára pé Ọlọ́run fi búra. Ṣẹ́gẹ́ ṣe pé ó ti dẹ́gbẹ́ máa believe nǹkan tó bá ń sọ. I was following this man, and he told people pé ẹ̀yin ẹ lọ sọ fáwọn bàbá wa yìí. Àwọn bàbá wa yìí pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ wa o, wọ́n nígbà tí ṣe pé òun nìkan pé ọmọ Yorùbá tó pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá pọ̀ táwọn tó lágbára ju orin gan lọ. Pé tó bá yọ pé àwọn ò fẹ́ ìyà tó ń jẹ wá ìtító ní ìyà táwọn Bọ́lá Ahmed fi tán á dọ́bù yìí ni o. Mo fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn máa dé ìyà tó ní ìjọba fi ń jẹ wá ń gbà yẹn, ṣé Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ò ti dọ́bù lẹ̀? Ẹni tẹ́ ní pé tó bá sọ pé wọ́n risk life wọn pé wọ́n parí pé prerogatives wọn, I understand that fact. But ó ń sọ pé ìyà tó ń jẹ wá nílẹ̀ pé táwọn bàbá wa wá ní pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ ẹ bá wa kọ̀yà pé kí wọ́n wò bóyá àwọn lọ́mọ bóyá àwọn lọ́mọ. Ó ní bọ̀tí sí lòun ó dìde láì jẹ́ pé àwọn bàbá wa pé wọ́n sí nǹkan kan yìí. Ó ní Buhari yóò rán battalion wá sóhun ní Ṣẹ́gẹ́t. And then now went away. Kò pẹ́ EndSARS bẹ̀rẹ̀ Nigeria. He was not in Nigeria at the time. Torí mo monitor ẹ̀ dáadáa. Káwọn yẹn lọ watch nǹkan tí mo sọ dáa gbogbo story mo ṣe ń tẹ̀lé. He was not in Nigeria. Then he came after the end because people thought the EndSARS would continue, but then the EndSARS eventually died down. By the time he came, the EndSARS already died down in Nigeria. Emma, ó ká mi lára gan. Ṣé ẹ̀mí ń wò pé kó tiẹ̀ dé kí epo ta sí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe pé yóò fi ọ̀rọ̀ pamọ́. Kẹ́dẹ́ mo believe ni pé ojú bọ̀rọ̀ kan náà fi ń gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkó lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yẹn. So I thought if he had come and following everything that he had said, that this would be very interesting. So eventually they were able to get him into Yoruba Nation shortly after EndSARS, not too long after that. And the next time I'll be hearing was, any campaign. I started getting excited. And this is where we're going. I was of Mikilo in Yoruba Nation. Because I believed, like I said, everything I've watched over him for years, for like 2 years before that time. Wow, pé téèyàn kan bá wà téèyàn láti gbẹ́kẹ̀lé ní Yorùbá yìí. Ẹ bá sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ò ṣe fọkàntán, Yorùbá ò ṣe kíní kan. Mo ní pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀bọ̀ yìí, pẹ̀lú nǹkan tẹ́mi ti rí, pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó dẹ̀ dá lójú ìtógun rẹ̀ dá lójú Ṣẹ́gẹ́t. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún ṣe movie kì í ṣe pọ́n parọ́ interview àwọn èèyàn, ṣe understand? Definitely wọ́n náà jẹ́ pé àkàndá kan ní bọ̀bọ̀ yìí. Gbogbo wa lè jókòó ká sọ pé àní tẹ̀lé a lè dáhùn nìkan dá because they will overcome him. Ṣẹ́gẹ́t. All of us have to be together in this. This is how I convince myself. But if there's one person you can be trust. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation yìí, it is Sunday Igboho. And because of that, gbogbo tó bá gbà lèmi náà ó fi fún. Àyàn kan dédé jókòó, you cannot just be on the fence and expect for things to happen. You have to be part of it. You cannot just fold your finger, fold your hands, and say, tó bá ṣe wọn nìkan ṣe, bá wọn náà ló gbé lọ. You get? Bàmílò nípa fún everybody. This is how I went into the movement. Now, if it's sọ pé prerogative wọn kọ́, yes, he can go back into politics because the leadership of the YSDM disappointed the entire Yoruba people under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. They have lied to Yoruba people. They deceived us for years. They actually they defrauded Yoruba people. But to know the word defraud. Deliberately, I didn't make no mistake. What defraud Omo Yoruba? I'm not sure see other things. That was the promise to the Yoruba people, the Yoruba nation itself. That this account we're going to create, nobody's ever going to touch it. It is for the Yoruba nation. Ask them today, where is the money? Some of us work hard to protect that. I know those. I'm not directly involved in the account, but I know those who protected, who tried to protect it. And then what is the label? Under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. I don't bear the question because I like people to call names. Ask them now, where is the money? Check it. Nobody's going to ask that question. Me, if I lose, got me, man.
No, Emma, go ahead, sir. Emma, continue. Mama, hold on.
So nobody's asking those questions. Now, if CSI had said, Yoruba nation, don't so where I want I belong to here. There's no schools, no roads, no this. All of us believe, which is what we all believed in. Kini Yoruba ṣe fẹ́ kó Nàìjíríà tẹ́lẹ̀? Ṣebí káyé lè dá fún gbogbo fún ìran Yorùbá ni. Ìyà tó ń jẹ Yorùbá tá bá wò dáadáa, òun náà ló ń jẹ ọmọ Hausa, òun náà ló ń jẹ ọmọ Igbo, káàkiri everywhere. And now we see what happened. That it is the Imperial West that is using the Fulanis against to destabilize the entire West African nation. Nothing else. And what are they doing? They're arming them. It is France. It is the CIA. It is all these people. It is Saudi Arabia and the UAE that is causing terror all across Africa. We see that from the allegations and the proofs from the Sahel. Tatiri. So we know that was the problem. And then go Nigeria so that we can have better lives, better schools, better roads, industries, for our people, hospitals for our people. But then the same government that you're now supporting today, nobody's saying it shouldn't go back into what it was doing. Yeah. But the same government that is causing all this chaos in Nigeria, that is stealing our money and giving it as a bribe openly for committing crime. And the FCC or whatever, EFCC or whatever, is still the instrument of government is not doing nothing about it. Look at what happened in Osun State. We see all that. And it's the program. Of course, if he goes into politics, we all encouraged it before that he should go back to what he was doing, because they allowed him to do what? Risk everything, even though he has not clarified. No mercy, but Tinubu sponsor ya because Adogan àti àfà èmi ò ní mẹ́nu kúrò ńbẹ̀ àwọn tí Tinubu kó fún Yorùbá nation tó àwọn yẹn ló gbowó ẹ̀mí Adogan àti àfà nílé Sunday Igboho. Now tí Sunday Igboho bá mọ̀ sí wọ́n gbowó ẹ̀mí Sunday Igboho gan Ọlọ́run ni ò pa. Nobody want to ask that question. They should be asking Baba Prophet Banji Akintoye as the leadership, as the head of that organization itself. Nobody's asking those questions. You're causing me to ask, you're making me to pointedly ask Professor Banji Akintoye, and he's not going to answer that question. Down. Because Sowore is there. If he was going to respond, he would have taken Sowore to court. They're not taking Sowore to court. None of them is taking no. Nobody ever called a national conference. You get they never call any other conference to tell you the next step to take. lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn gbà tó lè kúrò ní kíní tó gba freedom ẹ̀ tó gba going back into politics into politics tó sọ pé kíní no ayé all of them will be saying ibi tí bàbá Banji Akíntóyè bá lọ ibi tí Sunday Igboho bá lọ wọn ní dárúkọ bàbá Banji Akíntóyè kọ́ mọ́ dárúkọ Sunday Igboho pé ibi tó bá ń lọ ní ọmọ Yorùbá ń lọ àbí ẹ̀kọ́ ní Ìyálájé everywhere all of these organizations that are calling this on Yoruba Nation organizations and this is what they mention to make sure pé it's only one particular leadership that will follow kì í ṣe tàwọn Bọ́lá kí ló orúkọ ẹ̀ Bíọ́lá ìyàwó Abíọ́lá yìí kí ló orúkọ ẹ̀.
Madam Dúpẹ́.
You know, we want to make sure it's not any kind of different brand. Àtàwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan tó tún fẹ́ dọ́gbọ́n another parallel organization kalẹ̀ tí àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ gbọ́ tiwọn. Pé the leadership of Professor Banji Akíntóyè and Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho, this is the Yoruba Nation where we are interested in. Tamani mo parọ́, I was actually the general secretary that coordinates all the meetings in terms of the revamping of the YSDM. You can tell me no other thing. You cannot tell me something that's different. The revamped YSDM clearly points to that arrowhead leadership. Professor Banji Akíntóyè and Chief Sunday Igboho. So, why is there no further talks to the Yoruba people? Those are seismic changes that took place. With Chief Sunday leaving the YSDM and then going back into politics. Àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ máa attack Sunday by Eriko mo sọ pé you don't have a big support people because there was deception here and the leadership is who they should be asking. Nobody asked that question. Now, the bá sọ pé kí ló dé mo ní sọ̀rọ̀ pa Sunday Igboho lẹ́ni because it is one thing to go to walk away from that thing, to walk away from the YSDM, the Yoruba Nation thing, and then get your contract like you did when you talk of security, because it goes in line with what you have already continued to say, even though now you're in the corner of the government. Do you understand? But it is different when you're openly campaigning for the same government that you sought to change before, the same type of government that is oppressing your people. That's the difference. He should have stayed with his security, which I support, which I alone see know me. I am a author king part. I've always been very consistent with that. If he has stayed with Iruekun, it would have been much easier. Let me just make that more so. Pé àwọn kan fẹ́ gbé wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ dìtẹ̀ Iruekun ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá rántí Ìyálájé lórí ìkànnì ni mo ti sọ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà, mo rántí sà.
Tó ní pé irú kàtàkàtà wọlé mo ní àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sì wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n sáré tètè bomi pa náà kìíní. Instead tó pé gbogbo wọn ò dòmúra wọn nìkan. Mo tún sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Chief Architect George Akinola recently. Táwọn náà tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí ni another irọ́ tán tún fẹ́ kójọ yìí.
Kádìjọ
kájọ dá sí àbí kájọ dá sí àbí something like that. Money, why are they not coming together and join Iruekun? Why are they bringing another hotel against Iruekun? Timba why against Nkati Sunday Igboho? I wouldn't talk that, but it is different from openly coming to campaign for the same government that is destroying the lives of our people, which is what you got into trouble for the first time. So the question remains now very, very serious. People should not be stupid. People should not be foolish. Don't be deceived. When you see the truth, ask questions. Kò sí kan tó wrong náà tó lè kó kí ni reason tó ṣe gbélé tó ṣe. Wọ́n campaign for the same ìjọba APC ẹ̀gbọ́n fọ́rí tó ń fọ́ borí Nàìjíríà tó ń pa gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà dànù. Tó ń fi ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ tiwa tó fi ń taka tó fi ń ta kite. Tó fi ń ṣe deal pẹ̀lú France. France ló ń gba tax orí rẹ̀. How can we even explain all this nonsense? Look at the billions they just wasted in Osun State. School mélòó ló ń kọ́?
60 billion.
Wọ́n jẹ́ fún Ìgbàjọ ní 60 billion ẹ péré. Ìgbàjọ ní 60 billion. Kẹ́wàá wo tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ní gbogbo iléèwé tó wà nílùú Ìgbàjọ yẹn. Àtọ́jú títì wa ní gbogbo ọ̀nà Ìgbàjọ yẹn. Àti hospital àbí clinics or whatever tó bá wù ká fi ṣe. Àti farmland tá lè fi ṣe. 60 billion. This is what they wasted in Osun State, and Oloye has his face campaigning for them. This is somebody that was the only reason why I joined this movement. Now, openly campaigning for the same type of leadership that the Yoruba Nation was against. èmi ti sọ tí mo sọ ni mo sọ dá gidi. I'm going to tell the truth no matter what it is. Ayé ìgbà kan wà èmi àtàwọn ẹ ṣáà mọ̀ pé Yorùbá world media máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn dáadáa. Ìgbà tí kí ló ń porúkọ ẹ nísìnyí ọmọ borí owó tó ṣe nǹkan tó ṣe lẹ́yìn ọmọ ẹ̀ ṣé mi ò sọ pé it's a good thing he is doing. I'm going to talk about it. The truth does not mean you shouldn't talk about it because that's the right thing in my own view. We don't have to believe in the same thing. This is what I believe in, and I'm telling my truth as it is. My face and my name stays with everything I've said. I need to call and record it, so I can point to it. That's right. They buy the most one bye. And I'm not ashamed of what I'm saying. Is it possible that I'm wrong in some things? There's an element that there could be, maybe I misunderstand certain things. But that can only be clear when the facts are made known or when the truth is spoken from your place.
That's right.
As it is, I'm going with the facts that I have and the only facts that are available. And the history of what has occurred and the facts therein to tell you what I believe in and why this is a very wrong move. And that's why I say, how market, CSI, Osun State, Osun 2026. Táwọn Yorùbá mọ̀ mo tún sọ lẹ́nu wọ́n já rank olóyè díẹ̀ ni ṣe ti bẹ́ẹ̀ pọ̀ ti his rank now people look at him like any other oru náà fi sáko láwọn èèyàn but all of these people from APC they left Osun State and tutari olóru pẹ̀lú ìtìjú. Mi rò pé lọ campaign fún politician kan rí tẹ́lẹ̀ kan máa win according to what he has always said. Wọ́n lọ Èkìtì àwọn ọmọ ogun níbẹ̀ ó lọ campaign fáwọn kan bí kan dé ó gbọ́ àìmọye Baba Ladoja, we all heard the story. Even against the president of Nigeria, Baba
Obasanjo.
At the risk of his own life, he's not new to politics, which was okay. But look at what happened also. That's a glimpse. I read 2027 presidential election. But I disgrace all of these APC people and all these politicians that's happening. You will see that it's a new world. Because the Osun election is a template now for the opposition, for the general Nigerians that don't want this government anymore. And we'll see how APC handles that. Well, I may never won any election before, according to a lot of people that have spoken on social media. We'll see how you're going to rig 2027. Even though I'm not in support of as a matter of fact, polling booth. And because what are you doing? Don't, because I'm not interested in politics and I want to influence my own family not to participate in it. What are you looking for? But people are, will do what they want to. They still, she still has the right to do what she chooses. I can just advise as a concerned brother. That's all. So I'm not interested in their politics, but the facts needs to be spoken. Because I was so disappointed. The fact that CSI put his face on that campaign ground. That's ridiculous. If he has been doing his politics behind, tons of way, yes, I am. But when they don't show you, it would have been okay. But then you came on the campaign on the stage. I am Pariosha, one by you get one was now how market? How market? Ìjọba tẹ́lẹ̀ gbọ́njúlé yẹn tẹ́ fọkàn sí ìjọba tó ń ṣe àwọn èèyàn wa ní sùtáì tẹ́wá torí pé wọ́n ti ṣe oore kan fún yín àbí nǹkan míì tẹ́wá ní pé káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ká gbàgbé pé ká dìbò fún wọn kán tó kó wa sínú àgò yìí Ọlọ́run ní gbà fún gbogbo yín. Ẹ ṣé.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sí orí ètò bàbá wa. Yes sir.
Orí èèyàn kan tó ń type kíní kan sí bẹ̀yẹn ẹnìyẹn mo ń ṣàlẹ́jì ẹ̀ wípé kó pè sórí ìkànnì yìí tó ẹnìyẹn Clement Wallace ló porúkọ ẹ̀ tó sọ pé ṣòwò rẹ̀ a barking dog wípé ajá tó ń gbóni that is an insult.
If you look at Kule, one of them come make insult, it matter. People they can call people. Anybody then talk about town on Lara pay, Baba. Am I worry? Any Otoro, the car answer to her. Oh, me, can agree with me? They shouldn't agree with me or whatever. They can express their feelings. Yeah, am I doctor anything? Let people express themselves. Let the whole world see.
Oh, yeah.
That this show is genuine. You can have diverse opinion. You can have an impression. It all makes for complete understanding, complete expression of everybody, not that is monitored or doctored by anyone. It's okay. Ìdí òtún ọtún mò ń sọ yìí kí mo káyé lọ dọ̀nù kó lẹ́yìn ìgbà táyé bá lọ́tọ̀ ìdí òkútọ̀ ibẹ̀ lẹ́ máa bá ẹ lọ́kọ̀ mi kálẹ̀ o.
Ìyàbá jẹ́.
Sá.
Ṣọ́rí irú èmi jẹ́ mo ṣe sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ election wọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe nígbà èmi I'm not a part of it. Ṣé ọ̀dà sáà pé gbogbo ìrọ́ ló pátápátá ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé ọ̀dà sáà bẹ̀yẹn. Ṣọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ ó ti we have been around for over 30 years láti ìgbà tó ti wà ní Unilag ló ti ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ń fà á. Ìyẹn fún Ṣọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ ìgbà tó ti jẹ́ student union as a student union Unilag. Yeah, Showre is close to 60 now. In Shama Kekere. What is somebody to do so? Because it's not an allegation. Because in Shama a contraction called Nigeria and Loa, this is to everyone America, but only a wood of your water and CDC. Or the Fide, or better life for our tó bá jẹ́ pé this guy ti ní skeleton inú kọ́bọ̀dẹ̀ látijọ́ yìí wọ́n ti gbé síta jọ́ láti ní fárókè ní. The same thing bí tẹlifárókè bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ ńgbà míì bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn kan náà the same thing tí ó jẹ́ pé àwọn keyboard warrior tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀yìn keyboard wọ́n máa type whatever ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n bẹ̀ yẹn tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní wọn ò ṣe research. Everybody some of them got their big page. Some of them don't want to record it. Yeah, Yalaje. Some of them won't be. One song, kini fún wọn, tó máa lọ sórí ìkànnì oníkànnì. Báwo ni wọ́n bá fẹ́ sọ fún wọn ń sọ̀rọ̀ genuinely, wọ́n liberate àwọn kóòtù òjèrè, wọ́n ń ṣe pẹ̀, wọ́n máa lọ káàkiri lọ́ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ bá sí èké fáwọn èèyàn. Wọ́n tẹ̀ ní bold láti jáde síta kán sọ̀rọ̀. Kán defend nǹkan yẹn yàtọ̀ sí pé kán dúró sẹ́yìn keyboard kán kàn máa type ń bẹ̀ yẹn. This Yoruba nation don't shade it. Oh, now we're hot now. They hurt on people. I don't help hot emotionally. Nika for it. I don't hot financially. Nika for it. Don't hot. To these people believe we can you or no ọ̀nà tí Yorùbá lè fi dá dúró nìyẹn tó mọ̀ pé ìtànjẹ ló wà ńbẹ̀. Ìpè ìtànjẹ ló wà ńbẹ̀. Don't fi sọ pé don't fi sọ pé our people are very wọ́n fọ́ òtítọ́. Ẹni tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ẹnìyẹn mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ ní fáàtì lọ́wọ́ kì í ṣe pé ẹnìyẹn make story tó evidence. Nǹkan míì ni wọ́n wà lábẹ́ keyboard warrior wọ́n máa bẹ̀ sí attack àwọn èèyàn máa attack àwọn èèyàn wọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn ìmí inú wọn wà ní comfort zone ni wọn o. Ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ bá lè jẹ́ pé ó lè jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yóò di ló wà. Don't live a good life. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n sọ pé Dèjì Adélékè ẹ̀gbọ́n Adémọ́lá wípé because of this election báyìí ó ná 60 billion. Ṣé ọmọ kan bá pè ní 60 billion ni?
No, òun kọ́ ló ná sá. Ó sọ pé àwọn APC ló ná 60 billion. Sá.
Ta ló ná 60 billion?
Àwọn APC.
Anyway.
Àwọn Tinubu APC ẹ̀gbọ́n fọ́rí.
Wọ́n yàtọ̀ síra àtọ̀tún àtẹ̀lé. Ṣé Adémọ́lá Adélékè náà sọ pé òun náwó? Ó náwó lo influence náà.
Wọ́n ná owó. Àwọn náà náwó. Yeah. Mo sọ pé àwọn èèyàn ò need àwọn politicians yìí. We don't need it.
Ẹ̀kan tó lò kán wà lára tó ṣe kìíní náà tó ẹ̀fọ́ ẹ̀ náà and even gan when you look at them in Osun State gan wọ́n fẹ́ sọ kìíní gan di legacy fún ara wọn bẹ̀ yẹn ní àwọn Adeleke yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ fi ṣe bí legacy jọ́là kì Sàràkí Kwara State jọ́là kì ẹ̀yà eléyìí this is not a matter of bóyá èèyàn kan jẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ èèyàn kan jọ́là kì legacy lọ́ fẹ́ fi ṣe. The same thing gbà tí Fẹlá bó ṣe bí gbogbo nǹkan tí Fẹlá sọ nípa ìyẹn nílé tó fi ń kọrin the same thing náà people against Fẹlá kéèyàn lọ wo gbogbo orin tí Fẹlá ti kọ for so many around 1980 tó tún sọ nípa àwọn government even kan democracy tá à ń sọ kí ni Fẹlá pè Fẹlá ní demonstration of crazy ni Fẹlá pè ọ̀pọ̀ orí tí Fẹlá try àti liberate àwọn èèyàn wa ń gbà yẹn náà the same thing wọ́n against ẹ̀ kọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí Fẹlá ti sọ tó ti fi kọ́ ní in the past everything is coming out now everything is coming to come to pass gbogbo àwọn orin ẹni tó bá ní critical thinking ló lè understand àwọn orin tí Fẹlá kọ́ ń gbà yẹn náà tó bá ní critical thinking or logical reason ló lè get there or deep thinker ló lè get Fẹlá. You will get gbogbo message tó ń pass Fẹlá ò dẹ̀ fi message kò fi music kò fi àpáyà wet tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ afrobeat lẹ́ni Fẹlá ó yàtọ̀ Fẹlá àbàmẹ̀dá yàtọ̀ once in a generation ni mi ò fọ́tún lè rí Fẹlá afrobeat lẹ́ni Fẹlá ló gbé débi tó dé yẹn kò fi àpáyà wet no kò dẹ̀ fi oppress àwọn masses. Fẹlá is against injustice, corruption. Ó bá military fà á. Even gan àwọn western world gan fi wọ́n kọrin. Ṣé peace of no nation ní ká sọ ni? Tàbí Confucius break the bone. Tó kọ fún àwọn orin tó ń kọ̀ọ̀kan not only internal nìkan external. Ìyẹn Fẹlá. Jọ́nà ti Fẹlá tó dé pọ̀ àwọn the same thing. Other people, America bí ló fi máa sọ pé àwọn dúdú kan tó fi ń wò wá pé ṣé àwa kan lè yàtọ̀ tàbí pé IQ wa gan IQ content wa gan pé ó ṣe kìíní yẹ. Báwọn yàtọ̀ tó fi máa sọ pé why because of our behaviour bá ṣe ń ṣe bá ṣe yẹ lọ́ fi máa sọ pé IQ wa kó lò. Àwa dúdú àwa adúláwọ̀ láì torí ìgbà táwọn mú kí ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tẹnu. Nígbà míì even the same thing fún jẹ́mi gan bá ní ìyá táwọn dúdú wa kan ń wù kan ń gbà mí kan ó máa yà mí lẹ́nu àtìlẹ́yìn ṣe pé bóyá àwa gan ló yẹ ká jẹ́ àbádẹ́ni ní àkọ́kọ́ àwa ń di ẹni ẹ̀yìn tó kì í ṣe bí ọlọ́run lè mọ̀ ṣe dá wa lélẹ̀ yìí but àwọn ènìyàn burúkú àwọn ẹ̀dá burúkú ló dàbẹ̀ pé fẹ́ pàwọ́ aláwọ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ pa kádà aláwọ̀ dúdú wọ́n fẹ́ padà but kò yé àwọn kan kò yé wọn rárá àtọ̀ wípé àwọn ẹni àkọ́kọ́ dọ́tà bẹ́ẹ̀ òbí sọ kínní kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé àti ní civilization kan síwájú àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun yìí kì í ṣe wọn pé civilization wà bá wa even educational system wa gan àti ní in anything education kì í ṣe language náà gbọ́ bá wa now it's not about speaking British language it's not about speaking American language. No, language no go for that education. Most of them go bóyá kò ṣe bóyá ẹ̀jẹ̀ náà education western world yẹn but language no go fún wa bá wa náà. But àwọn èèyàn ní understand kìíní yìí tó máa ń rà àwọn èèyàn tó dá àti láìpẹ́ àwọn èèyàn wọ́n máa èké sí wọn. Àjọkùsẹ̀ yìí kíkọ́ wọlé wọn dẹ̀ nílé sọ pé kí wọ́n pè wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ kó kí wọ́n debate lórí ẹ̀. Wọ́n debate lórí ọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n fi ọ̀rọ̀ lómi tó rọ ọ̀rọ̀ òkè báyìí ló yẹ kó ní báyìí ló yẹ kó ní o báyìí ló yẹ kó òkè bá bá àgbò yìí kìíní àwọn kan wà lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n máa táìpù lásán ẹ̀wọ̀n ìyá alájẹ má jẹ́ kí n gbà àkókò yín gbà tí dọ́tà bẹ́ẹ̀ ní òjò tó ń ṣe lọ sí iṣẹ́ látàárọ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ kí n gbà àkókò ẹ jẹ́ kí n ẹ ṣe ìyá alájẹ.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa ẹ ṣé ẹ pẹ́ fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè a ní pẹ́ parí ètò tí a lè ní ìmọ̀ ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ẹ kú ohùn ní àkọ́kọ́ náà ká tó máa lọ mi ò mọ̀ bóyá ẹ ní nǹkan kan tí ẹ fẹ́ sọ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ kí n tó sọ̀rọ̀ sá ó ní nǹkan kan tí n fẹ́ sáré sọ sá ká tó. Ní àkọ́kọ́ inú mi dùn pé ẹ bá wa yànnàná comment tí mo pín ènìyàn tẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí kí nìdí torí pé nǹkan báyìí ti dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ rí ní sẹ́yìn ìdí nìyẹn tí mo ṣe fẹ́ kàn yàn láti jẹ́ kán mọ̀ pé ní orí ìkànnì wa níbí báyìí àwọn ò bẹ́ nìkan ṣọ̀tá bẹ́ẹ̀ a ò dìtẹ̀ ẹnikẹ́ni ọwọ́ mi rèé funfun lẹ́lẹ́ mi ò fi síbì kankan a kàn ń fọ̀rọ̀ jomi toro ọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ lè má rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
òótọ́ ọ̀ lèmi sọ bọ́ọ̀ ṣe rí ṣe mo wà ní Yorùbá Nation tó yà pé mi ò lọ sí Yorùbá Nation rárá àtọ̀ gbogbo àwọn ṣòro tí mo gbogbo àwọn ṣòro mi ò ní sí lórí ìkànnì báyìí but because I was involved in Yorùbá Nation mo mọ kí làwọn kan tá à ń sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wọn ní sọ tábà porí ajá wọn ní wọn porí ìkòkò tó fi sí.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
ká ní pé I was never in the leadership role. Decision making, policy developing positions. Tí mi ò sì máa kí láwọn kan tá à ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa. Tí rẹ́kọ̀dù tún wà nílẹ̀. Tí mo kọ memos, tí mo release jingle, àmọye jingle tí mo sanwó fún tó pé mi ò understand lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation. This is what we preached. And the only reason why I went into Yorùbá Nation, the only one person that gave me the conviction to join the movement was Chief Sunday Igboho. And then for developments that happened, when I found the truth about the leadership, and I decided to walk away. And I wish he would walk away. And finally he did. And I said, that's fine. Kí làwọn yẹn ń pariwo ẹ̀ fún? Àwọn tó yẹ kán béèrè question lọ́wọ́ wọn béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó mọ̀ òótọ́. Láwọn òótọ́ kan wá tí ó ti jáde tí mo ṣe wo pé ni mo ṣe mọ̀ pé wọn ní dáhùn àwọn question kankan. Torí wọn fẹ́ káwọn òótọ́ mi jáde. But then when you leave náà ń tọ́ pé mo kó Yorùbá Nation ẹ̀rẹ́ kí n wá lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí campaign fún àwọn Adeleke Nation. Àwọn olegbe yìí. When we know what we wanted for our people. Or àbí mo wrong torí mo ti ro kíní ìdára pé àbí mo rò pé ṣé bàtà ń pariwo Yorùbá Nation a ní intention pé kí ìjọba kó ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwọn èèyàn wa ni.
Kí ni wàá ní ìtumọ̀?
Àbí nǹkan mi ni mo ń rò ni. Or were we just doing Yorùbá Nation torí pé àkànfẹ́ lé àwọn tó wà ní pòpò ń bẹ káwa kan gbàjọba ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe bí tiwọn yẹn. Ni mo ṣe sọ pé at the end of the day, most of these people, that's why they pay in the YSDM. Everybody is always trying to look for position. Because that's what try to get. What if you what if you want to build a law? What's already been now? Èmi ò lè bá ìbọn yẹn ṣòṣèlú. Mo ní ọmọ tí ò ní ìyá wọn ní kí gbé pọ̀ ẹ̀yìn. Mo ní my intention ni pé ká lè gbọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa gbogbo tó bá gbà àkèrè ní kàkà kó mọ́ dùbẹ̀ lápá ti tẹ̀wọ̀n yóò rún sílẹ̀. Mo ń ṣùpọ̀ tá bá gbọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa lónìí tẹ́ bá rí mi politics tẹ́ bá padà fún mi máa jẹ́ èmi ọmọ ọlọ́tọ̀ jájá ọmọ àgbájá ṣe é mọ́ ya lóru ọ̀gbà tí ò jí pèrè lọ gbọ́ wọn léṣe fún kankan. Mo sọ pé I will never go into politics and that was the truth. It is still the truth. But the truth needs to be told because you put me in that position to talk and to release memo and to have records on my name promising the Yoruba people, a whole nation, with good governance, distinguishing it from the current type of bad leadership we have in Africa, especially in Nigeria. And now for me to not turn around and be supporting the same system. That means I was never right in the first instance. My intentions was not right from the start. And so when I see that truth, I'm going to have to talk about it. And I'm not pleading with anybody, come and misconstrue me. You can misconstrue me whichever way, but you see, this record will stand to clear me of everything that I must have said that people are seeing about the YSDM that is wrong now. At least people will see that I maintain my truth. That it was never about myself. It has always been about what I thought the entire movement was for, which is still what I'm standing on today. So when I see the people in leadership roles that have kind of backslided and doing the exact opposite of what we talked about, it needs to be cleared. It needs to be told. Although iná lè lọ ṣàlàyé ara ẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ má wọrí ohun táwọn ń ṣe àwọn ọmọ táwọn ń ṣe Yorùbá nation láwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kó lè dá fọ́mọ Yorùbá láwọn ṣì ń gbà ó lábẹ́ Tinubu ni ó sì ti dá ó torí APC náà wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ nísìn. Tó a pé kò gbójú ta kó máa campaign fún wọn nísìn, it's a different story. Kò gbójú ta wọn campaign for the same bad government. Àwọn èèyàn ń pín owó, APC tán pàdé mẹ́fìn wọ́n ń gbé bọ̀ndúbọ̀ndú owó wá fáwọn èèyàn wá ní wọ́n ṣe rere fáwọn èèyàn, wọ́n tún school ṣe, wọ́n kọ́ hospital, wọ́n ṣe ọ̀nà. Ṣé nǹkan tá a sọ lórí campaign yẹn lórí Yorùbá nation? He should have stayed with security. He will not have exposed himself. People that are giving him advice are bad advisors. I regretted going to Yoruba Nation till tomorrow. More, especially over this weekend, than any other time before. Somehow, he was on the campaign stage. And can't buy you. Oh, Baba, you understand? Can you do the stage? You should even stay in the background. Only that you show face on the stage now. You understand? Come on, capture it, senior. It will have seen been whatever. He's doing his own thing. You get? He could be doing all of those things not on the stage, not openly like that, campaigning actively. Because now it is an active campaign for the same bad leadership of our people that we were condemning. That's not right. It needs to be spoken about. Ben,
ododoro ni sir.
That's all. If you can make amends, and now on Jaranke, until the campaign for when you tell it, come on, Wally. I understand. I understand. Even the respect that people have, the regard that people have for that name, now, if it was at 90, it's now at about 40 or 30 or less. That is a big disappointment. He should take this for a caution for 2027 presidential election. Tó bá ṣe pé fọgbọ́n ṣe ni kò ní gbójú síta lórí stage yẹn. Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ẹ kú àtàárọ̀ sà. A kí ẹ̀yin aráalé pé ẹ ṣeun gidi gan ni ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin Afẹ́nifẹ́re wa.
Ẹ wá ní ráwọn Yorùbá ẹ má bínú ìyá lájẹ, ẹ má bínú mo. Ẹ ní ráwọn Yorùbá nation tán sọ pé àwọn ọmọ Ìgbòho táwọn tán jà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Sunday Igboho tán ṣe o. They won't give him the good advice. They won't tell him, they will not do. Lady, can ever so fún. They won't tell him what is right. They won't tell him. Instead, they want to badmouth. Èmi ò dẹ̀ ní kéèyàn má sọ̀rọ̀ mi burúkú. Ọlọ́run nínú mi. Èmi ò ní ká má sọ̀rọ̀ mi pé ọmọ burúkú Nàìjíríà bó ṣe máa ń ṣe. You see, you're going to respect my truth. At some point, you'll find out who truly cares. Because now the legacy we thought you build up, you're destroying your own legacy. That name you already built and you paid for with sweat and torture. Now, look at what is happening.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni láti tẹ̀síwájú a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ìyá bàbá alálùbáríkà ojú òní tì yín láéláé a dúpẹ́ bá ṣe ń pè yín tẹ̀ ń jẹ wa bẹ́yìn náà bá ṣe ń pe Elédùmarè ó máa dá yín lóhùn ní ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún ọ̀nà ni o ẹ ṣe ojú òní tì yín láéláé a kí ọmọ wa Ella Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ọmọ ológo wà débi gíga láyé ẹ ṣeun a kí bàbá Ìyálájé náà ẹ ṣé gan tí ẹ bá wa dá sí ètò a dúpẹ́ mo wá máa lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Dr. Moses Abiodun Ojo ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà ẹ kú dìde sà ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà ojú òní tì yín láéláé olóòótọ́ ìlú ẹ̀yin àgbà náà lẹ sọ olóòótọ́ ìlú Ọlọ́run òun ni ìkà ìlú olóòótọ́ èèyàn kì í dẹ̀ lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ṣùgbọ́n lọ́jọ́ kan bí irọ́ bá lọ lógún ọdún ọjọ́ kan òótọ́ kò lórúkọ méjì òótọ́ lòtítọ́ máa jẹ́ ibẹ̀ ní kẹ́ dúró sí Elédùmarè a máa ṣe alátìlẹ́yìn yín ilé àti ọ̀nà yín kò ní dàrú láṣẹ Elédùmarè ẹ ní jábọ́ láéláé o ẹ ní ṣubú ara ẹ ní ṣubú ẹ̀mí ẹ ṣeun gidi gan ni àdúpẹ́ o àmọrírì yín àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́ ẹ bá mi kí mọ́mì dáadáa ẹ bá mi kí gbogbo ilé wa lápapọ̀ sà ẹ bá wa dágbére fún àwọn aráalé ká tó parí ètò ta lè ní sà.
ẹ ṣé mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ kú àdúrótì ẹ kú àtìlẹ́yìn ẹ ò ní dáṣayé o ẹ̀bẹ̀ kan tí mo bẹ̀ wá ni pé ẹ bá pín fọ́nrán yìí dáadáa kó ní káàkiri ayé pẹ̀tẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀ ta nà ní pápá yìí gbogbo àwọn ibi tó bá ta sí kó káàkiri kó ṣàtúnṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó fi dọ́dọ̀ tèmi lára kọ́nà kókó wa máa ṣe. I must tell the truth that this weekend was a big disappointment in the journey of the Yoruba Nation movement. It remains a fact. I don't understand how the damage could be undone. Nǹkan tó dùn tó yẹ kó dùn yàn jù ni pé you look at certain things but fún èèyàn àwọn nǹkan mi lè ṣòro fún Ọlọ́run ohun gbogbo ni Bíbélì mọ̀ pé ó jẹ́ ṣíṣe. But based on my own human, I don't understand how this damage can be undone. It is very disheartening. Some of us will wish, Shema, a lot of people will want to have. My thinking and view of Sunday Igboho remains what I believed, never changed. Sheget. I wish it remained like that. Unfortunately, this weekend did a lot of damage to that posture than ever. It is sad. I'm sure a lot of people, but it's so funny. Ariwo làwọn èèyàn máa ń kíyèsí wọ́n bí lè kébi tariwo wá pọ̀ sí ibẹ̀ ni mẹ́wàá àwọn tó ń pariwo ẹ̀gán nínú ara wọn ọ̀tọ̀ ní ibi tó kàn lómi wà wọ́n mọ òótọ́ o. But nígbà tó wọ̀ àti nígbà tí ó wọ̀ òótọ́ ẹ̀ lèmi ó sọ.
bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nìyẹn sọ.
ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ kó mu lò táwọn bá fẹ́ kó pàkíyèsí ká ṣe àtúnṣe ní tó bá yẹ ká ti ṣe. títí ìgbà táwọn pàdé kọ́ ló ń kó ṣọ wa ẹ ṣé.
ẹ ṣé gan ni sà ó dàárọ̀ gbogbo lé.
ó dàárọ̀ mà.
ó dàárọ̀ sà.